All right, welcome back to Don't Think, Just Charge. I'm Dave, he's Harvey, you asked for it. Here's the Age of Fantasy tier list for one-page rules. Thank you everyone who tuned in 2 weeks ago to our Grimdark Future tier list. By popular demand, we're here for an Age of Fantasy one. There are a whole load of the usual caveats that come at the start of this. Go check out the start of the Grimdark Future one. The differences here being that we're talking about 1,500 points of Age of Fantasy. Everything else applies. The one I am actually going to be repeating here is tier lists S through F aren't helpful when talking about one-page rules. The game is, when we're talking about something that would be in the top tier, we are talking percentage points, and so we're representing that here with a plus and minus 5% scale up to 10 and above. That's probably the biggest point to make. It doesn't mean that someone who's in the plus 10% tier is always going to beat somebody who's in the minus 10% tier. OPR is a game where your skill expression really does matter, and so any game is winnable, any game is losable. One point, actually, that's really nuanced and important to fantasy is that we had a brief chat about this. We haven't pre-recorded this or pre-done our chat. We're going to talk it through with you people unscripted and uncut. But when we were having thoughts about this, we both were thinking, oh shit, does everything in fantasy end up in the plus 5% bracket? Which ain't great. It's not helpful for you at home. Fantasy is a much tighter game. It's way closer. We far prefer fantasy as an isolated system. It's far less wacky, like you get in Grimdark Future. So if you are clicking through this trying to find out our findings, and you look at it and go, well, this is all a bit top heavy, we will reevaluate as things go on. Listen, hang out for the discussion. Also, there will be a mini Dragon Empire review in the middle of this one because we've not really talked about it yet on the channel. Stay tuned for that. Otherwise, grab your paintbrushes, grab your snacks and your drinks, and enjoy some Don't Think, Just Charge. Just naff blabber, really.
Oh yeah. Lock in for the next 2 hours. Let's fucking go.
Let's go. Yeah, short video, 3 hours later. Here we are. Same as last time. We'll go top to bottom.
Oh, yes.
Oh, what a great one to start with are the Halflings.
5%. 5%. Everything's 5%.
It is just straight into the 5%. It's so hard to do, right? Like, all of these are arguably better than 0%, but that is where our average is, so we will have to bring it down.
Okay, let me give my argument for why. I mean, I was doing the 5% as a joke, but I think actually probably they do belong in 5%. There's a couple of things that make them 5%. Yeah, there's a couple of things that make them 5%. One of the things is they have access to a melee Slayer Berserker style unit. That stuff is always just good. So that's 2 attacks, AP +2 against tough 3 or higher things. That's just a really, really nice thing to see in an army. It's got A2, which is good against chaff, and most things in AOF, when they are more elite, tend to actually also be tough. So it's kind of like a catch-all unit. It's got slow. I think Halfling's got quite a lot of shooting. So like a bit of slow in there is not the end of the world, right? Just because you can just cover charges and stuff instead. So I think that's just a really, really solid unit.
The Braves.
It's also got, so they've got their army-wide is Lucky, which is basically Furious without the charging part of it. And the Braves also have Furious. So 6s with those guys just like do bits. Other things to me that make Halflings really good, they have very, very cheap heroes, which is good. They have a teleport aura, which is also really good.
Yes.
They have, I can't remember which version of the rider they are, but there is a rider, like an animal rider that gets, I think it's goats, heavy impact. Which is obviously very, very good for a low quality army to have access to AP1 on quality 2. Combine that with a teleport aura, and all of a sudden you've got an extremely long range cavalry unit that's heavy impacting, and that's all good. I think there's lots of nice things in the list. They also have access to thieves, which is just a them and goblins thing, which I think is just a really solid unit. It took a nerf forever ago now, I guess, but I think the ability to do damage outside of like activations is just really good, right? Like it lets you basically front load one of the turns, And if we're talking base game, then that's especially relevant in turn 2. If you can just come down with 2 units of thieves and blow up one of their problem units, it's really,
this is
good.
Using surprise attack for those of you who aren't familiar with halflings and goblins for that matter. That's the special rule that is when you deploy the units, each model has surprise attack X, which is surprise attack 1 here, and you roll that many dice, and on a 4-up, an enemy unit takes 2 hits with AP 1. So you roll this, you get lucky, you've got a double stack, so 6 of them. Say you get 4 of these off, well, that's 8 hits AP 1 out of activation. That's just when you deploy it. It doesn't trigger morale checks, but say you half average it, you get 6 hits AP 1 on entry. That is pretty damn good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think overall they've got lots of nice things going for them. They're a little bit like a low quality version of dwarves. You're doing it with like a lot of models on the board.
Yeah, you do.
Which isn't the worst thing, right? Like I think lots of models can be really hard for things to move. They also have townsfolk, which I think are a great unit. 10 of them. They've got lucky, so they've got exploding 6s, and they're quality 6, so they basically have got quality 5 through lucky. And they're slow, so they're really cheap. Like for 120 points, you're putting a lot of bodies on the board there, and that's really hard for your opponent to deal with.
They're qualified through fatigue as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, just a solid army. I think halflings. This is one of the ones where I think like as we get through the rest of this AOF list and everything else starts going in tier 5, this is the kind of thing where I could imagine after we've readjusted might actually be a tier 0. But I think at least now initial impressions is a 5.
They're such a strong start. I mean, you've hit on all the points. The one that you took away, which I wanted it to be my thing, is the teleport aura, because I fucking love that rule. It's so... I could be looking at the most dogshite army in the world, and I'd see a teleport aura somewhere and be like, we're in. We've got a game plan here. Yeah. Mobility is so good. Teleport's just fun. It's powerful. And you stick it on an army of short hobbits, and fuck me, it's great. I really like them. I know they're not the best unit in the world. I feel like it's also worth mentioning the Troll Riders. They're called 4 shots, 18 inches, AP 1, and they've got regen. They're not the most thrilling thing in the world, but they are quite good, and I like them. So they're always worth mentioning in my mind.
The one thing I would like is the champion, I think they're called, the 20-point one. The leader. They have an upgrade called Master Thief, which gives stealth and strider, which is unfortunately basically useless with thieves. Because first of all, thieves don't have strider. No, they do have strider. I take it back. They do have strider. You always take surprise attack. So really, they need ambush to go with that. I don't know how that would work on a hero unit, but to be honest, like if they had a way of getting ambush plus vengeance on a 20-point hero, that would be fucking sweet. And that would catapult them, I think. Because vengeance is one of those rules that's like, I don't know, it's okay. It's not amazing, but if you can find a way of like sacrificing something early on, then it's really good.
Yeah, there'd be some gameplay there. Certainly, a vengeance, infiltrate, the surprise attack thing. Yeah, that would be an interesting unit to play with. Very cheap. But for now, we'll leave them at the 5%. They might, when we have our realignment, they might come down. What about our, it's not just a phase mum, it's the Dark Elves. See, on strength of unit, I'd be tempted to put them relatively close to the 5%, but I do think that they sit in the 0%.
I think you're goddamn wrong. I think you're a goddamn idiot as well. I hate elves, but in this circumstance, I'll make an exception.
Love elves.
And I will say, okay, so what Dark Elves I've got going for them, right, is retreating strikes is an extremely potent rule, right? It's
retreating strikes?
Retreating strikes. Prosciutto strikes.
Prosciutto strikes. I'm hungry now.
With some rocket. When you finish combat, if you're within 3 inches of an enemy, you roll a dice for each tough you've got, and you, on a 6, deal 1 wound. I think that's the rule.
Yeah.
Now,
you're talking about the dragon.
Well, I'm talking about anything that can get hold of it, really. So, in the current state of the game, the heroes can get dragons, and that together gives you like 15 retreating strikes for 5 points, which is one of those like weird OPR upgrade things. I think in the future it's being reworded so that it's like retreating strikes 3, and then therefore they'll be capped at 3. But right now, as this is 3.5.1, 2, Okay.
2.
I'm paying attention to the game. You can do that, and it's really, really good. They also have access to like Hydras, which are just a really, really durable, fun unit to play with, right? Like regen on a tough 12 is really good. And then with lots of retreat and strike shenanigans in there, it's doing a lot more damage. And because it's tied to tough level, as it takes wounds, it's not getting reduced, and you can do all sorts of fun stuff. On top of that, what Dark Elves have is they have Thrust Mark, I believe, which is a really, really good mark to have, right? Like that's probably up there as one of the better ones. +1 to hit and +1 AP in fantasy is the equivalent of saying like you're rolling 6s for most things. So that's just really, really good value. They have good cavalry in the form of the Raptor Riders because they have Devour as well as Impact, unless that's been changed. I'm pretty sure it hasn't.
Ravage, but
and they also have access to now I can never remember what it is. Is it melee shrouding aura? The one that reduces the range at which you can charge them. I think it's called. Is it that's shrouding, right?
Melee shrouding aura, yeah.
Yeah, evasive is -1 to hit, right? Yeah, because they got swapped around the beta back and forth. I think it's shrouding. Shrouding in my head makes sense.
They have melee. It is because that's what it's called in DAO, and I've been looking.
Yeah,
at them
so they have
recently.
melee shrouding aura, which is a really, really potent rule when you apply it to just the units you want. So really, really good to just put in a unit of witches, makes them really hard to charge, gives them one-way charges in a way that most units can't do. Witches are already a bit of a blender unit. They get access to that thing where you get more damage the more things you kill. That's very, very potent when you're playing with a no, you can't hit me rule. And because of harassing their army wide, if you destroy something, you bounce about 6 inches, which means you only need to be 3 inches away from the thing that could have charged you before, and now they can't charge you because of melee shrouding. So it makes a really tricksy unit. And on top of all this, they have shades, which is a really, really good like shotgun style unit. So I actually think they're 5% because I think they've got so much tricky gameplay, and I think like harassing is one of those rules that is like mobility is always good. And in a melee heavy game, mobility is even better. And with retreating strikes being in the game, there's actually an incentive to do it as well, right? Like before retreating strikes was in for harassing, it was a bit like, well, it's a bit lame, right? They've lost fast and they don't really have great things to do with it. But now they can use their harassing aggressively and trickily and all sorts of stuff, and it's all relatively cheap. So I think, yeah, auto wounds are good. Reduced charge range is good, and otherwise they're just like thrust mark, all sorts of stuff like that. And also they have the Medusa, which I think are just really fun to play because they have like a weird little sniper deadly view thing. So you can snipe heroes out of units and such, which is relevant in AOF.
All right. They go into the 5% with everything else.
They're better than Halflings, God damn it.
That's fine. I can put them higher than Halflings. Do you know what else is higher than Halflings? It's the fucking Chivalrous Kingdoms.
Oh, yes.
So we'll probably have to have a bit of back and forth on if they're better than Dark Elves after such an impassioned speech. But just motherfucking 20-inch charges with impact. Like, it's not tricky. The detail of Shiv Kingdoms doesn't come into it too much there, really, because you've got access to so many different excellent cavalry units. But at the same time, fuck it all, right? Just take Errant Knights. They are shit cheap. Qual 5, Def 5 means they're really, really cheap, but they've got these impact hits, which means that if you just bring 10 of these, it's sub 200 points, and because of Veil Formation, they're charging most of the board. The phrase is OPR is a 24-inch game. I put the
Scout as well, right?
Game. Right?
Oh,
fuck, they are. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Right.
Yeah. How much swearing are we getting into the first 10 minutes of this video?
Yeah.
Don't demonetize.
Someone commented on our video recently being like, alien hives, the only way to really describe them is to swear 4 times in the first sentence or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right. If OPR is a 24-inch game where movement is key, these goddamn Errant Knights just shit all over that, really, because if you move out of your deployment zone without scout, kaboom, here's 10 hits hitting you on a 2-up, insanely good. And then these guys got thrust as well, so they're actually hitting you on a qual 4 on the charge, and these guys are usually charging with AP 1 plus on average 8 hits with AP nothing off of impact. You give them a sergeant, the guy on exploding 6s is going nuts. You don't care about that, in all honesty. You are taking your musician for a 21-inch charge. we won't talk about Banner in this particular instance. I think let's talk about the power of Banner in Age of Fantasy when we get to Human Empire. I don't know where that is on our list, but Banner is such an important part of Age of Fantasy. All of the full command upgrades are just icing on the cake of something that's insane. And that's me just talking about Errant Knights. They're peasants. We talked about Ruinous Frenzy for the Witches. The Peasant Levy and the Bowmen, is it? Maybe something else, get precision growth.
Oh, yeah.
So whilst the rest of your army is making 20-inch charges, by the way, that's the same speed as Dark Elf Raiders Skimmers, like sci-fi tech, fucking flying things, and then really well-trained horses, same speed. Whilst they're all bombing it up the board and making your opponent shit themselves with charges that they can do literally nothing about, then you've got your peasants that just start out insanely cheap and then get +2 to hit. Mental. Combined then with the fact that, is it...
Yeah, one of my things
one of the heroes
precision growth thing as well. Is,
go on. Sorry,
I was just talking about halflings, townsfolk, whatever they're called, the 60-point ones.
Yeah.
Well, there's the Shiv Kingdom ones are 40 points, and then you pay 20 points for precision growth. So what you actually get out of that is after 2 rounds, you get like a 4/6 that's been at the back of your army for 120 points, while everything else is just popping off. And then that's quite a scary thing to do with them. They've got 6-inch rocks. So they're one-way fighting everything as well.
They're actually 8-inch throw rocks because of Veil Formation.
Of course, yeah.
It doesn't just apply to movement.
Yeah, they got fast as well then, I guess, right? They got the extra charge range. So, yeah, they're definitely one-waying you. Little bastards.
Yeah, I think there's 2 things that let Shiv Kingdoms down, and one of these is me debating people. One is that you're typically going to be on 40 mil bases at least.
God.
OPR obviously mini agnostic, but really something on a cavalry base is going to be at least 40 mil. If you're bringing it from like Age of Sigmar, this motherfucker's a big base. It's like 60 by 40 or something. It's huge. So if you have got a unit of 10 cavalry, it can be quite clunky moving a load of these around a board, especially if there's difficult terrain. And that can really... Oh, wait, hold on. They have a Stride Aurora on their fucking high champion. Just... so good what you can get out of the Shiv Kingdoms. And then the peasants are all really worth taking. The Grail Relic's hilarious because it's got a furious buff, so that just makes your good knights even better. You've got, I think these guys have got an impact mark, I'm pretty sure, in the army as well.
I believe so.
Which is absolutely hilarious. Just the amount of insanity you can get coming out of the Shiv Kingdoms. They're so good. They're so good. They're not tricksy. They're not tricksy like the Dark Elves, but they're going to go at you, go hard. Don't think just charge style.
Yeah, I think they're a classic example of just like kill everything on the board apart from the big stuff, right? Like Cav tend to suck against like tough 12 stuff, and obviously spears. But most people don't have just spears in their army. Most people don't have just tough 12s. And actually, with some of the tough 12s in Age of Fantasy, you probably could charge them. So yeah, Shiv Kingdoms is kind of like I'll kill anything that I damn well please, you fucking bastard. Because they've got 30-inch bows or 36-inch, 4-inch bows, whatever it is. They've got their massive charge range. They've got the works really. The only thing they can't really do is they don't have really decent AP anywhere. Like they do, but it's all like A1, AP3 crap, right? And their Monster Hunter puncher things suck dick, so don't bother taking those.
The Quest Knights,
No, I mean is it called puncture? Whatever it's called, their special rule. Yeah, it's on the Grail Knights. Let me look here. It's called
puncture is
ignore.
The tough 3 to tough 9 thing.
Yeah, ignore regen and you get AP 4 or whatever against tough 3 to tough 9. Yeah, that's just waste of everyone's life, isn't it? Really. But Shiv Kingdom is absolutely great. And the other thing they have as well is like they have Fearless on some of their top knights as well, which is a really nice
they do.
So I think most likely a Shiv Kingdom's army is kind of what you would come to expect from like a Bretonian army, really. Like it's a bunch of like cheap dudes and a bunch of fancy dudes on horses, and it's very, very good. High mobility and mostly melee game.
Yeah, high mobility in a mostly melee game. That's another important point about Age of Fantasy. It is mostly melee. It is low AP, low quality, low defense, relatively. It's Shiv Kingdoms. If your thing is like historical recreations and you want to go Dark Ages, Shiv Kingdoms are your jam. They've even got a trebuchet, the world's most advanced siege weapon.
For list building as well, I recommend everyone get to 10 activations with Shiv Kingdoms. It costs so little, right? You can spend 120 points for 3 activations. It's really, really worth doing because it means that when you do pull the lever, you pull it, and do all your charges, they can't then attack back either, right? Like you don't give them the counter charges on the round that you do that. You can stall activations with those and then do your big charges, which makes it a lot more oppressive. Because if you just like wing your stuff up the board immediately, then they'll just counter charge it and do trading, which isn't perfect for your opponent, but it's way better for them than if you just stalled 3 of their activations and then chose charges where they can't respond to them at all.
Yeah.
Especially with Scout, right? You can basically pick whatever target you want on the board to charge at any point, and if you stall 5 activations, then they can't do anything about it. So yeah, good stuff. It's a 10. It's a 10.
Oh, we're going for the 10.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Mobility just can't be underestimated, really, in AOF.
See, I do agree with that, but I was reserving it a bit because I was thinking maybe a 10 is too much. But if you're happy to go for the 10, I will join you there.
I'm the 10.
We're going to keep going in the good category. Now, I would put Havoc Dwarves in a 5. You're far more passionate about them than me, and I'm sure you'll give me another enthusiastic speech as to why they should be in the 10. I'll put them in the 5 for now.
I think Havoc Dwarves are good. They've got really great shooting. They've got access to AP1 Flamers. That's really good. They have access to a scouting slow chaff unit in the form of cultists, which I think is an extremely potent unit to have. Very, very good. I think, it's a weird one for Havoc Dwarves, really. I think they are good. They have access to Slayers, all sorts of stuff, right? I don't know if they are... See, this is making me want to drop Halflings and Havoc Dwarves down already, right? I think Dark Elves are better than both of those and better than them in a pretty significant way. Havoc Dwarves are just really, really good, but it's the slow thing, right? Like, slow makes them so cheap, slow gives them so much stuff, but they can just be, like, out-mobilitied, right? They don't have any ambush in the list whatsoever.
Yeah.
Which I think that's true. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have no ambush, which makes winning games really, really difficult with them, right? If your opponent's playing full ambush. And like their shooting can make up for that to some extent. They have extreme shooting range, stuff like that, but actually just getting onto the board, unless you're running cultists, it's really difficult with Havoc Dwarves. Now, you can just run cultists, but it kind of puts them in that weird position where they're like, well, it's 100 points for 20 of them, so it's not even that expensive. But it's like, am I really going to paint 60 minis? I don't know. I think Havoc Dwarves are good. I don't know how good they are. I think I ran an all shooting list recently. That's just a full meme. I think if you were including lots and lots of cultists, then you'd be in a much better spot. So maybe they are slightly higher. But I think also, as I look down the list on the right, there's lots of other things that I think are really good here. And I think actually Havoc Dwarves is a 0, I think, already.
Oh, should we have a readjustment then? And we can put Havoc Dwarves into the 0. Should we put Halflings down?
I think Halflings come down. Yeah, Halflings and Havoc Dwarves are very, very similar, but I think Havoc Dwarves are a better version of Halflings. Halflings have got a couple of interesting tricks and stuff, a little bit better ability, ambush and stuff. But Havoc Dwarves have access to flamethrowers, which is just like a huge uptick really for them. Compared to
and it's AP1 because of Havoc Bound.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is always really good. There is 2 things that really does lend Havoc Dwarves a lot of strength in my mind. One of them is the Relentless Mark, which, you stack that with your Flamers and you're just popping off. But they also have Morale Debuff, and I just feel like it's so good to have in Age of Fantasy, where you're going to be doing charges, melee heavy, and just the ability to rout someone is so impactful.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We'll leave them at the 0. We might do some rejigging. But yeah, that's all right.
I think Havoc Dwarves is one of those lists where it's like the things I'm taking. There's like a couple of units I'm taking, and then the rest of it is a bit like filler, right? Like I'm definitely taking cultists. I'm definitely taking their infernal shooters. I think they're called, the guys with the flamethrowers. And then after you kind of built those, you're like, well, I get a bit of a percentage of shooting range on the flamethrowers, maybe. But after that, you're kind of like, well, the rest of these units are okay. I'm not like super enthralled by them. I think the bull, whatever they're called, bull statues or whatever they're called, are pretty good.
Centaurs?
They're like AP4, or you can get flamethrowers as well.
The bull constructs.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're pretty good as
they're
well.
They're also Def 2.
Yeah, which is good. Def 2, yeah, tough 6 with flamethrowers makes some basic quality 2 as well. Or they can get AP 5, motherfucker, when they charge with their AP 4 things. Yeah, Havoc Dwarves is one of those ones that probably needs to pass since they got their rule. Yeah, it's one of those ones where I think they like normal Havoc things are more excited about the Havoc Dwarf rule than Havoc Dwarves were, because of slow kind of being a bit of a weird rule to play around.
Yeah. I haven't had a look at them in 3.6 yet in labs, but we'll see what that rocks out as. That September's obviously a few months away. Yeah, we'll see where they end up.
Yep.
We've got a long time yet. Goblins. I want them to be a 0. Are they actually a -5?
So I played Goblins in a tournament recently, in the UK OPR TTS tournaments that come around every so often, drafted by Fate, which is an American thing as well now. Actually, he hosts them both, doesn't he? I think Goblins are good. I think they're probably firmly a 0% in my mind. They've got some really good tools. They've got access to a Shaman Circle unit with 5 in them, which makes a really, really nice buff caster. Trolls are just good, right? Like they're regen and they can get scout, which is nice. They're missing 1 attack, but they're just like a nice little vanguard unit. I think they've got access to thrust once again, so a great aura to have on units. That's really good.
Yeah. Is it thrust aura? No, is it thrust mark for them?
Thrust aura, yeah.
Is it thrust aura? Okay.
Yeah. So that's good. I'm trying to think what else I use. They have access to a really, really nice artillery, if you don't mind a little bit of a 50-50 every so often. I think it's AP3, deadly 6, 24-inch range.
It's so cheap though.
Yeah, it's so cheap, right? It's quality 5, right? And it goes up to a 50-50 every time you shoot it with the artillery buff. But that's a really, really good piece for Goblins. And obviously they get Fearless all over the shop, right? Like you can make 20 stacks of Goblins with Fearless, which is super, super great, right?
This is the thing that was it. I'd forgotten about this. In the game against you that we played in that TTS event, I just couldn't. I think you failed 1 morale check.
Yeah, like 4-up into 4-up is good, right? Like, it's good. So I think Goblins are good. But I like putting them looking next to Havoc Dwarves and Halflings. I think they're as good as those guys. So I think they probably are an AOF 0.
Okay, cool. Let's move on, and we can do all of our War Disciples. Our Havoc Disciples at this point. We've got War at the top here. Overall, I think that the Havoc Disciples in Age of Fantasy are really good. Their core units being you've got access to chaff in the form of your cultists or whatever they're called nowadays. They're War Warriors. Barbarians, thank you. Their warriors are qual 3, defense 3, so good morale, good defense in an AP light world
with 2 attacks as well, most importantly.
And they get 2 attacks, AP 1.
Very few things
like
are
135 points.
3/3 2 attacks in this game.
Yeah,
like most things are 3/3s with 1 attack, AP 2 or whatever, right? That kind of weird elite stat line unit.
Exactly. And then they get access to full command, which gives them musicians. Their sergeants are good because of 2 attacks. And then you get all their bonus things. Like, I think War are particularly good. So I think I want to put War in the 5%. Lust Warriors, I think they're better now they've had their spell list done up. I think I want to put War Warriors in the 5%. I want to put Lust Warriors in the 0. Change Warriors I want in the 5%. Where are you? There you are.
They've got burbs, haven't they? Change.
They have burbs, and they have good burbs.
Yeah, burbs are just a really nice glass candy, I'm pretty sure they get them in this. Burbs.
Are you on your phone now? Do the Plague Warriors get they get a difficult terrain spell, don't they?
I think they've got the same spell list as the other one, yeah.
As the Grimdark Future one?
Let's have a look. If I can spell the word plague, I'll tell you.
I'm going to put them in 5%
they do,
for that exact reason.
Yeah, they've got the exact same spell list, which is a much better spell list in AOF, right? Because 18 inches, 6 hits is way better in AOF at most things.
It just sucks in Grimdark Future.
Yeah.
So I think really it's just that difficult terrain debuff is so good. And then base Havoc Warriors. See, Havoc Bound is AP for them. Yeah, it's going to be the same as Havoc Dwarves. It is good, but do I care about it enough in fantasy? I don't think I do. I kind of want Havoc Warriors to be at the 0. I think that's right. Like, it is close. I think War Havoc Disciples are the top ones. Change just -1 to hit is so incredibly good. These guys have all got the versatile defense aura, so an extra -1 to hit is so potent. Like, -2 to hit in Age of Fantasy is going to be huge. Plague Warriors have got a bit of resilience, and they've got the difficult terrain debuff. Maybe Plague Warriors do come down to a 0 in Age of Fantasy. I'm not sure. Where do you set?
My stance is both Plague and War are 0%ers.
War's a 0%er.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Plague and War are 0. I think War's not got a very good spell list. It's obviously very good for like doing extra damage, but I think actually base Havoc Warriors are fine at doing that, and they get access to more units, which I think is just as good. I think the problem that War's got and base Havoc Brothers is that like mobility is so much better than either of those things, right? Like it can't be understated how good just being able to charge a bit further in AOF is, right? Like every one of your units trades better into every one of theirs. Yes, you lose out on some damage, but it's just so good. And then change is good because of burbs, basically good spell lists and so on. I think the base Havoc spell list is actually really good, so I'd even be tempted to put them up to like a 5% there.
Really? So
yeah, I really think
in my
War
mind
and Plague,
they're a really good spell list, purely because at level 2 they've got melee evasion.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think the normal Havoc Brothers have got 6/6 AP1 with Slam, which is ignores cover, exploding ones, whatever. And also, like, a thing to note about base Havoc Warriors is they also get access to the dangerous terrain debuff on stuff like trolls, which is obviously very good. I think like Havoc in general have got a nice list. They've got lots of access to like little scouty bits. Base Warriors have got like access to Havoc trolls and those centaur guys, Drake centaurs or whatever, who are actually a good unit. Now they've been changed around a bit. I think like you ran a warrior list last UKG.
War, yeah,
and I think some of them have just got better, right? Like War went from Furious to
Shred.
Shred, and I think that's basically a net neutral change, right? Like, you know, like fine, whatever. But the other ones I think got pretty good glow ups, right? Like change used to be just stealth, and now it's charges as well. Havoc Warriors got access to AP1 across the board, which they didn't have before. The spell list is good as well. Yeah, I think I put like that, and I think Lust Warriors just for the mobility is good. I feel like Lust was always really good though, but maybe less so in the Warrior version because there's already mobility in the list. But I don't know.
Lust might have actually. So Lust's big drawback last patch was their spell list sucked. Now they have got 6/6 AP1 Shred, so maybe they are better.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
Oh, it's really tricky. They are close. I think we could spend a long time just kind of putting them back and forth.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes so like every single warrior faction gets access to a Havoc Shrine, and the Havoc Shrine is good +1 to hit, right?
Good.
So I feel like damage output wise, they're kind of chilling because you can just take a Havoc Shrine, and having a Havoc Shrine that moves at fast paced for Lust is just better than the other ones. And yeah, I don't know. Like I think just being fast is good in AOF, and I think that's enough to get them up. And their spell casting list, if it's good now, is good. And I feel I was actually looking at change up there. I'm like, the birds are good, and -1 hit is good, but is it as good as those other two? I don't know, because I'm looking at the other things in that list, and I'm like, well, I guess Change Warriors are better than Havoc Dwarves, Halflings, and Goblins.
Change. So they have Lust Twin Warriors that were that are like core 3, defense 4, A2. They had something silly going on there. Overload, right? But now they've got Melee Slayer.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Even better than
just brought up here actually, because I was thinking, is there another argument for Lust? But I've just seen that they have Melee Slayer.
Oh, definitely. Then I didn't realize they got changed.
Pretty damn good.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that either.
Oh, wait, have they lost an attack? No, they haven't even lost an attack. Yeah, fuck it. That's a fucking ace unit. Quality 3, Def 4, 2 attacks, Melee Slayer, Lust bound, so it's fast. Fuck it, Lust can go to the top. Lust might even be the best. There's literally no way. They're better than Havoc Warriors, probably. Yeah.
This website hates me.
I think they're better than Change, even. Right? Fuck it.
Really?
Right? Yeah. No, getting access to fast melee slaying units. I've just been talking about how good they are in the other ones with slow. Right? That's an insane unit. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's where I sit. I mean, I'm happy to do some wiggling, but I do really think Minus wants to hit really good in AOF because lots of things got quality 5. Lust Warriors are just fast, which is good in AOF, and Havoc Warriors, like, they have access to some interesting units. So yeah.
I've just realised something as well. Wow, I've really not looked at Lust enough. They've also have melee evasion on a level 2 spell, and they've got AP1 shred. Yeah, okay. Fair fucks. Lust are looking good. They've got scout auras, they've got unpredictable Feist auras, good spell casting. Of course, the Lust Shrine. Okay. Lust Warriors, you are going to the top. We've not given you your time.
Is that the sound of Dave bringing Lust Warriors to UKGE? Is that it?
That is the son of Dave thinking, we have an event. We're recording this on a Thursday. We have an event on Sunday. And it's Dave thinking, how fast can my printer print? Ooh,
I mean, you've already got 1,500 points of normal warriors you could bring, and then just top it off with some twin warriors or whatever the fuck.
No idea where in the garage they are. Holy shit! Yeah.
Either way, yeah, Lust is very good.
Yeah, Lust very good. Cool. Okay, let's keep. I feel like we're razzing through this way quicker.
I think we're doing well. Yeah.
Demons aren't on here. There we go. They'll have to have a chat at some point.
I actually did add them originally. They must have disappeared from my thing. Maybe they didn't get sent. It's fine. We'll add them manually.
Yeah. Giant tribes. Again, really nice glow up in 3.5. They've got the tough 9 things that are really cheap.
Yeah.
I want them, though, to be a 0%er.
Oh, interesting. I can see why you'd say that. I think they're a -5%er. And I think that because the thing that makes Titan Laws good is a thing that giant tribes don't have, which is
Def 2?
Def 2. Yeah, I think being Def 3 is bad. And they're quality 4 across the board. And who's ever looked at quality 4 and gone like, yeah, that's sick? I just think like individual units with quality 4 is just
they don't have Fearless. I thought they did.
No,
they've got
the honor code,
the Unshaken thing.
Yeah. Which I mean, sure, but we're talking about a melee focus game here. So if you fail your morale check, most of the time you run in, bro. You run in. I just think I don't know. I don't think they're as good as Titan Lords. The loss of quality, the loss of defense is bad. Yes, you might be able to spam a couple more of them out, but it's not.
I was overlooking it. Their two non-full melee tough 12s are a pain because their shooting is crap. It is qual 4, and you just can't get rid of it. So, and this isn't an army where you want the shooting. All right, they can sit at the -5s.
I mean, they still have access to like Lustbound and stuff like that, right? They're still flexible and good, but I think I don't know. Like, I think Def 3 is just quality 4. Def 3 is just not good enough for a whole army, right? Like, they don't have enough tricks to get around their problems. They run a very similar list to Titan Lords, but I think they eat shit a bit faster. I'm like looking at the other ones there. I'm like, yeah, like what does a giant tribes list really do against a goblin list, right? They just don't have the output. They get ballisted and they die, right? Like, yeah. And the warriors list is just killing them with spells and stuff, right? It's not fair.
Okay, we continue. For those of you watching and paying keen attention, there are a load more armies on the side. We realised we'd missed pretty much the back end, the back half.
The bottom half.
So there's loads to go through. It's now catapulted the demons to be the next thing to discuss. So let's have that chat. I'm interested to know if they come out in our estimation at a similar ranking as the others, because they are quite a different army.
Yeah.
To parrot the point that you said this aloud first, and it like clicked into place for me. Demons, great fun to build with. Their fatties are fun. But once you finish putting in their fatties and scout units, you're left going, I'm not happy fleshing out the rest of my army with this book.
Yeah.
The one that I am happy with, and I think should be in the 5%, especially in Age of Fantasy, is Lust Demons. I think they're fantastic.
Yeah, I think so. I think for me, that's a GDF problem, right? Like the bottom half of the listing. I think in AOF, you're going to run out of points before you reach that point, right?
Yeah, fair enough.
My like quick run through take of each of the demons. I think Demons of Change are a 10%er. I think the full ambush spellcasting list is just so incredibly potent, right?
Yeah, with you.
That's really good. I think like you say, Lust, I think are a 5%er. Like fast on everything is really good. That nothing's changed there. I think that War is a 5%er as well, carried pretty heavily by the fact that they have access to Tri-Hounds. The Tri-Hound 3/3, tough 9, scaling damage.
So good. Fatigue debuff. You get fatigued if you fail on morale. Yeah,
very, very good. Especially in AOF once again with morale and all sorts of stuff. They've got great Ascended Harbingers right there. They're like, do they just clap cheeks, don't they, really, right? Like, there was a while where we were testing them for UKGE and you were like, Jesus fucking Christ, these things just run in and kill everything. They're really great. And then Plague. I'm
going to stick Plague in the 5%.
Because of Dangerous. Yeah.
Dangerous Terrain, but their Ascended Harbingers are great. The downside, actually, are they?
I think
they 5%?
I'm very happy with Demons being 5% because I think having Def 2 Tough 12 things is good in Age of Fantasy, and they all have access to that. I think they've all got their own unique thing going for them. I think, like you said, the difficult terrain is good in Fantasy. There's a lot of Strider going around in Fantasy, so it's not like super, super great, but it's still good.
So the Ascended Harbingers are one of the things that catapults them up. Also, the changes that came in, bringing them into points brackets that you can bring. Tough 12, Qual 3, Def 2, and 15.
Quality 3,
monstrous, right?
Huge, yeah.
And all of the Ascended Harbingers have access to Caster 4. Incredible. What an amazing thing to have access to. The Plague one has got 2 loads of A6 AP3 Bane.
Yeah.
AP3 means you're not paying the most for AP4. You're in Age of Fantasy where who the fuck needs AP4? Sorry, Havoc Dwarves. And then Bane means that they're re-rolling successful saves that you're hitting a good amount of because of Qual 3. Really, really good. He also has access to regeneration. The drawback is he can't get Strider or Flying like most of, if not all of the others can. The
last one can, but yeah, the other two definitely get access to Flying.
Probably the worst of the demons, but still excellent. And they've got the Giant Slug. That's what it is. I was trying to think of what it's called. The Giant Slug, difficult terrain debuff, and it's a tough 9 thing. It's only Qual 4. Yeah. I'm not bringing more than 1, but it's 140 points, right? It's so cheap for a tough 9 thing. Yeah. It's going to be quite good to have.
Yeah, absolutely. I think demons are good. And that's not including the fact that they all have access to Demonic Ambush, which is like a bonus ambush aura that they can stick on all their heroes on top of their normal auras. Ambush is good in the base game. Being able to put your units where you want to put them into round 2 is very good. Nothing's really changed there too much. I'm very happy with all the demons as well. Being good.
Yeah, they are all good. Demons of Lust, I have to give the honourable mention to the mirrors having mind control.
I know, I'm surprised you hadn't mentioned it already. I thought the second we got to Demons of Lust, you would immediately go to the mirrors because they're your favourite unit by far.
They are my favourite unit.
Every time demons come up, you're like, the mirrors though, man. They got mind control, they've got deadly shots, they've got caster. What don't they have, Dave? They don't. I know now the Lust spell casting list is good.
Go on, there's one more thing.
They have ambush?
Just movement.
Yeah,
just they it's Lust. Yeah. They've got the +1/+3.
Yeah, for sure.
And in Grimdark Future, Lust demons take a step down because most things have got better morale. But in Age of Fantasy, mind control, fuck it, razzing it out. It's really good. Those mirrors are excellent. Yeah, Demons of Lust top of 5%. I'm very happy for them to be there for that unique thing. Demons of War. It feels so weird putting Demons of War as the low end because they're so powerful. They've got excellent. Demons of War have great scouting dogs as well.
I forgot that you can make this Sacred Mirrors quick shot as well.
They're running around at frigging 15, double moving. So with the +3, so it's actually a 15-inch move and shoot.
Oh no, is that movement? Oh, it is. Yeah. I wasn't sure if it was just charged or not, but yeah, you're right. It is. Yeah, you can rush and shoot 12 inches with a blast weapon. It's quality 4, right? So it's not amazing, but it's surge.
It's quality 4, so it's not amazing. But exactly right. It's surge on a blast weapon, which is perfect.
And it gets caster,
caster 2 baked in, and
Mind control,
melee evasion aura comes out of it, and you can cast a quick shot if you didn't want to take the quick shot mark, and if you're not doing that, moving 7 inches and shooting is good. Yeah, lust is really strong, and 1,500 points is good. It's a very fair army when you compare it to Demons of Change, because that all ambushing spellcasting list is just silly, absolutely ridiculous. It's not as mental as it is in Grimdark Future, but at 1,500 points, it's still very, very potent.
Right. What we're doing for ordering then internally of demons?
I think this.
I think
Change, Lust, War, Plague.
Yeah, I think maybe Dangerous Training debuff pips it towards Havoc Warriors, but I think Demons of War might be better than Change Warriors. Just 1 pip to the left.
Yeah, I can take that.
Yeah. Demons of Plague, I'm happy there just because of their lack of mobility, right? I think like they've got their big scary stompers who are very good, but without Strider and fast and flying, it makes them a lot harder to use. One
of the flaws of my current analysis is that I'm thinking a lot about 2K because we have so many 2K mixed events at the moment.
1,500.
I have to remind myself 1,500.
Yeah. I mean, I would almost be tempted to knock Demons of Plague down to top of 0%. But
for exactly those reasons, right?
Well, yeah, but I think they're okay. The problem is
the rest of the army shake out.
Like I said, the 1,500 point thing is because you're doing 1,500 points, you're much more likely to not run out of good units before you get there. But you probably are going to have to bring some warriors. But warriors are just way better in this because they still get A2, right? Warriors, right? I think, or at least war ones do. At least just all the warriors do, right? They all get access to dual hand weapons.
They get
right?
A2.
Yeah, so they are still a really good unit in AOF. They're 4/4s, right? They're pretty durable. The only weird thing that demons get is that like fortified growth thing where they get more and more AP resistance as the game goes on. I always felt weird with that on a Def 4, but I mean, I guess in an AP 1 world, maybe that's good. But yeah.
Say that again. Say it louder for the people in the back.
AP 1 world.
AP -1 feels weird on Def 4?
Yeah. That's why you run it on Def 2s with Infiltrate. Right. Vampiric Undead.
Vampiric Undead. Another unit, another army. I want to put in the 5%. It's like they are so solid. They've got really cool things. They've got mind control everywhere. Their spell casting list, I think, carries them a long way. So mind control is their thing. You get it as a base upgrade on their heroes. You get it.
Not in my list, you don't. In my list, we're not wasting 45 points on fucking mind control. You get it on zombie dragons as well, and you get it on the
zombie dragons, yeah. Zombie dragons, but their spellcasting list has access to double mind control, and their spellcasting list has access to triple teleport. Yeah. 3 units get teleport.
And deadly.
And then can their drained leader get caster 3? Yep. I don't think he can. Oh, he can.
Yeah.
The 25-point unit can get access to caster 3. Excellent.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think if you're running Vampiric Undead full caster list, I think they're very, very, very good. The thing that Vampiric Undead is missing is kind of the 2,000 point thing again, right? Where you reach a point where you're like, I don't want any of this shit, right? Like, I'm going to take a unit of werewolves because they're okay, right? Yeah. But I don't really want to take these werewolves, right? Like, I'm going to take a unit of Vampiric Knights because they're kind of cool, but the base thing is such a fucking off-put. I think really you get the best out of Vampiric Undead if you go, okay, I'm going to take 4 heroes. 3 of them are going to be drained leaders in zombies. 1 of them is going to be a vampire who's in a unit of skeletons. We're going to take banner across the board. We're going to have 4-ups into 4-ups. We're going to have 6-ups into 6-ups because that's our army thing. We're going to take a bunch of the wagons that give bonus to casting, and we're going to see any points we've got left and hopefully fill it with something useful. But just make an enormous block of things on the board and fuck with your opponent. It's basically their thing, right? And like 3 hits with Deadly with AP2 is really, really good in fantasy because lots and lots of tough 3 things have got 4,
that's
3.
Level 3 damage
and
spell,
they've got the 6-up boost thing as well on the corpse wagons, right?
Yeah, the corpse wagon with spell lodestone just gives someone casting buff boost.
And also has their army wide buff on it as well. It's both.
Yeah.
So yeah, it like if you're taking the good units, I think it's a really, really, really good army. And don't underestimate mind control for just like winning games, right? Like at round 4, moving someone off a point is as good as killing them.
Yeah.
and you can do it to 3 units, right? So, and if you've got 4 casters, you probably have a caster on the board by the end. So, I mean, I'm always starting to put them up into at least the very top of 5, maybe 10. One thing they do really well is they kind of like, they don't really care too much about everyone's mobility game. You're just taking big stacks of stuff, and your casters are embedded and stuff. So yes, things are going to charge you, but really chewing through stacks of zombies which have 2 attacks each and quality 5, it's really fucking tough. They like clap so many things, zombies, just out of nowhere, right? They're just like an obnoxious unit. So I think Vampiric Undead are really, really good. I don't know if they are.
I'm looking at. I'm wondering, do Demons of Change go up to the over 10%, and we put Vamps into the bracket up?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Demons of Change is better than Shiv Kingdoms. Just in base game, right? I think in base game, it's really hard to beat Demons of Change because mobility is so favored in AOF. Full ambush is really, really good, and then having a durable backliner that can still take points is really good as well. It lets you just apply the right amount of force in the right spots with Demons of Change, which is good. So like a Shiv Kingdom list comes flying over the board against Demons of Change, blows up a bunch of chain charters, which gives them literally nothing, and then Demons of Change comes down and kills every knight unit on the board. They can't do it quite as effectively as at 2,000 points because there's point caps, but yeah, I think that's the correct thing, because I think Vampiric Undead versus Shiv Kingdoms feels like equity or equality or whichever one is.
Yes, good. Let's leave Vampiric Undead there. I'm going to take us out of order here.
Whoa.
Because I think... Sorry.
What? Okay, fine.
But I think it's important for especially those two to discuss. I'm going to bring in the Human Empire. So we can have this banners chat now. Because it's so important, and it's such a central pillar of Age of Fantasy. I think now's the time to have the conversation. Yeah. So Human Empire, I'm going to put at the bottom of 5%. There is argument, I think, to take them up. Army-wide morale in just on this basis, right? Age of Fantasy, melee heavy, and because it's melee heavy, because there's less effective shooting, that means that your morale checks matter more, because if you fail a morale check after combat, whilst under half, you're gone. You're off the board. High lethality. So Human Empire having access to +1 morale is so important. Your infantrymen, you put them as a block of 20 and you stick a banner in there, their morale is a 3 up. If you put a Qual 4 hero, their morale is a 2 up. Or you find some other way, like with boost or something. The banner of full command, the banner in the command upgrades, whatever they're called, you call it full command when you've got all 3, at 5 points for +1 morale is so impactful. And then when you double stack, it's like we've talked about with DAO, when you double stack +1 rules, it is not the same as having a +1 and a +1. It is quite strongly magnified. And I think that Human Empire, on that basis alone, make them quite good.
I think for me
down.
Yeah, okay. So Human Empires, I agree. Big stacks of 20 stacks with high morale is really annoying, at the very least, to deal with. I think Human Empire struggles a little bit with good quality output, right? They have really nice shooters, right? Because the shooters here are on 5+, they have precision shooting marks, right?
Shooting buff, yeah.
That's all very well and good, and they're kind of like the HDF of Age of Fantasy. But I think they have a unit selection problem at 1,500 points that makes it very difficult to like really utilize them. Like I put up, if you watch the last video we did, beginner, intermediate, advanced lists, and one of them was a Human Empires one, and it was like some shooting, some dudes, and I think a steam tank, which is fine, right? But it doesn't make me go like, that's really scary. It feels really fair because they don't have good mobility in that list. They've got some decent shooting, but it's not amazing because it is still quality 5, quality 4 with the buff, which is still not great quality 4, right? Like we're not writing home about it really. And if I look at the other things in 5, I think like the morale thing is really strong, but I don't know if it's so strong that it has them like putting it with just being killed.
Okay.
Right. Like that's the thing I worry about Human Empires, right? Yes, it's a durable list and you can play very cleverly, but what if someone does just ambush and kill your shooting units, right? Then all you have are these enormous blocks of dudes that don't shift, but your opponent's killing your stuff on the board, and you're kind of like waddling around like a moron, waiting for them to finally get involved with your crap. I just don't think they have the tricks to be really good. I really like them. I think they're fun, and I really like a full shooting list with them, with the mobility and scout and all that kind of stuff. And 2-up morale is good, but it's not 2-up morale and everything, and you can kill the things that don't have 2-up morale, and then kind of come back around to things that 2-up morale. Like, I think Alien Hives is a scary use of it because they have lots of damage in all their units, whereas Human Empire's missed that, right? They don't really have the embedded scary thing in their melee units, which is where you're doing the really high up melee, the really high stacks of units where like morale really matters. They do in the range units, but the range units kind of fold over if you charge them. You make sure sometimes the things in the back live, but it's not as good. I don't know. I think Human Empires feel a little bit too fair to me.
I'll be talked down into a 0. I think they're above Havoc Dwarves. Things like the Steam Tank, just def 2 up, so good. It's a tough 9, so it's really resilient.
Yeah, that's fair.
They have got a Mage Council unit. Their spell list is kind of fine, but they've got +1 to hit rolls in melee, which is nice. One of the things that I think really is in their favor is Coordinate. Coordinate in Age of Fantasy feels like, because everything's a bit flatter and a bit more even, having a Coordinate can feel really strong. Coordinating a tank to go and do its things is pretty nice.
Yeah, especially in like Impact, world with Impact, right? Impact is very reliable, and so you don't necessarily need damage buffs in your units if you have good Impact. So you can kind of go like me go, and then they go, and we use Impact instead. Because normally in like Human Defense Force, you'd want to take Precision Shooter, right, in that slot, because why would I want to take Coordinate? But double activating is really good.
Coordinate on a dragon as well, like going coordinate a dragon unit, which is going to be, it's not insanely good. You're very right. Human Empires don't really have the damage output, but doing that with a dragon into a tank, you can get a lot of points of value in a single activation.
But yeah, I think they're kind of fair, right? I think they belong next to 2 slow factions because they kind of feel a bit like a slow faction in that they don't really have that, like everything above them is so much more mobile or has so many more interesting tricks that your Human Empire player ends up playing very, very fair and is perhaps a bit sad off the back of that.
I think if they didn't have their army wide as +1 morale and then banners weren't a thing, they'd be way down.
Yeah, and banners are getting nerfed at some point as well, I believe. But interestingly enough, right, like I've always said this, I think morale is the worst part about the game. And AOF feels really good because you take 5-point banners on everything, right? And so things tend to fight each other a bit more than in GDF, where you just like, I pick up dice and both me and the opponent know that their unit is dead, right? Like, you know, like playing time, someone just goes, "Don't roll dice, mate. It's fine. That's off the board, right?" I'm not going to roll 5 6s. It's fine.
Lovely. Okay, and with that in mind, they've run away. I was going to pick on the Sky City Dwarves. We'll go back to the list in its order. The Volcanic Dwarves. Now, for pure passion project, I want them to be in the plus Uber 10%. They're not. I think they're
0. Yeah, they're firmly 0. Once again, they've got some of the nice units we were talking about before. They've got Berserkers, and they've got 12-inch range shotguns, and they've got some blast stuff going on, and they've got big scary heroes who can mount up on these enormous dragony things and do cool stuff. But in general, after they've used their army wide, they don't really have mobility. They struggle with any sort of like flexibility in the game. If you're playing progressive, then maybe they're good, but base game, I think they're just missing some ambush units, and maybe just some units in general. I don't know. They're okay.
That they are. Their core units are the most exciting, I think, because they've got
for sure.
things like the grounded speed. When you're within range of terrain, you get fast, which is great because it offsets their slow. They've then got Strider banners. They have a lot of cool, unique things in there that makes them exciting and fun and helps them overcome their slow. If their army wide was anything else, I'd be way more keen on it. Like, just... I think nearly any other than -1 AP, I think that any other army wide would make them certainly higher up the 0s, if not into the 5%.
Yeah, didn't they end up with something really weird as well, where like the ones that get Strider Aura like it's based on the wrong ones or something like this, right? Like, yeah, the
Yeah,
Berserker
it
Guards.
started out really nicely.
Yeah,
And
the
then it went
Berserker
wrong.
Guards are the ones with grounded speed, right? Which are the A1 ones, and your Berserkers are the ones that are the A2 melee slayer ones. They get access to grounded reinforcement, which is +1 defense when they're near things. So it's almost like if they were the other way around, then oh my god, so great. And also bearing with mind, Volcanic Dwarves, Army-wide Furious, Army-wide Fearless is obviously very good. But I think to me it feels a little bit too fair. It's not got enough ability. It's not doing enough fancy stuff to be able to like dictate a game.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just outvalue your opponent, march forwards, and it's good to go. But yeah, they just don't have like, in terms of a flexible game plan, they're just completely lacking, right? If they play against someone with ambush, the ambush player is going to absolutely destroy them.
They're another fair army.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that we are kind of looking at here is the top ones are unfair and the ones in the middle are playing a much more fair game.
Yeah.
And I think that actually this is represented by a really important breakpoint of this 5 to 10% thing, because Demons of Lust are fair. They're aggressive and strong, but they're not yet in the what the fuck have you just done to me category. And then the Vampiric Undead mind control shenanigans and the unkillable zombie tide just gets us into that bracket of what the shit are you doing.
Yeah.
Cool. Deep Sea Elves. Bottom of 0 or top of -5?
They're a minus. I think Giant Tribes are actually better than them. Deep Sea Elves are another one of those lists where you kind of like scroll through it and you go like, but where's the punch? Where do I?
They have what, a Kraken octopus thing, and it's got 10 attacks?
Which is nice. It's got melee evasion, right? I think, is it a 4/3, something like that? Quality 4 is not great. I don't think it's got fearless either. Melee evasion is okay. I think the biggest thing that Deep Sea Elves have got going for them is actually their cavalry. Their cavalry is, I think it's fast and strider, and it has impact and maybe just normal hand weapons, but they have retaliate 1.
Yeah.
Which is when they take a wound, they deal a hit.
Yeah.
Which is actually great for a cav unit, because you throw your cav unit in, you just destroy 1 unit, and then something charges cav is basically always how it goes. And then they wipe out your cav unit, but you do 10 hits back to them and you've just absolutely crippled another unit, right? And that's a great 2-for-1. They've made an ineffective activation, and there's no way of dodging it, right? Like, they can shoot them if they want. But I mean, shooting a cav unit after it's charged feels even more limp, right? Like you have to do something more proactive than that. Because that just could be a pass morale check, and then, oh God, no, I've got to kill it again, and it doesn't really work. So that's the only thing they've got going with them, I think. Ambush redeployment is interesting, but they don't have the Elven Jesters thing, whereby they have it on ambush units. They have it on non-ambushing units, like the Octopus hybrids. So it's kind of an interesting way of getting ambush, but without any of the advantages of having something in ambush, i.e. you have priority going into the turn when you ambush, because you have to activate your Octopus hybrids round 1 to put them into stealth, to bring them back on the board the next turn. So you can't use it like that. You can just use it for redeployment perks, which is fine, but I don't know, it's like a chaff unit really, like the Octopus hybrids. So
right. So I think one of the things that is a big drawback for the Deep Sea Elves is they got nothing better than Qual 4.
Yeah, tough.
And yeah, like where do you find this punch and excitement? And it's in the eel riders, wave eel, the ones you were just talking about, the cavalry you were just talking about, because they get access to thrust, so that's Qual 3 on the charge, impact, Qual 2 on the charge. Otherwise, really, like, weight of dice, but even then, it doesn't feel good. Wave step, cool, thematic for them, movement always good, but it's like Human Empire, a bit of like, where is the drive and the push? But at least Human Empire have got staying power, and they've got the ability to hand out buffs. Yeah, Deep Sea Elves, not great. And I think you are right, they are lower than Giants.
They have the same thing as well with the Goblins have. They have an AP3 Deadly 6. Like, I think that there's a 30-inch range, but I think the Goblins are shorter than that. Artillery, but there's a quality 4 artillery, so it's actually quality 3 when they're shooting with artillery, which is a really good piece. I wish it had wave step, because artillery can't move. But if you could just gently, deploy it behind land sight, pop it out of land sight to shoot, that kind of stuff would be cool. I think that lots of army models like that got removed from things like that, like drop pods in GDF. But that army mod is good. 3-inch extra movement is good. And I think if they had more supporting units for it, they'd really, really love it. Kind of like Wolf Bros do. Like Wolf Bros have got decent units that like being closer as well, like flamethrowers, whereas Deep Sea Elves are just a bit lacking.
Did they get Caster 3? I think they're No, they got Caster 3, but they were Caster 2 locked, I think, in 3.4. But even so, their spell list isn't really good enough to pick them up one, so yeah, they can stay where they are. Next up on the list, we've got the Wood Elves. Interesting that we've just recently been talking about fair and unfair. This is an army that I think really flirts with being unfair.
It really does.
Isn't quite there, right?
Yeah, I agree. 1,000%. What else have got all the makings of something that I think could be really, really good? I think the army ride's really solid. They've got teleporting, attacking guys with A2 and unpredictable. Like, they've got lots of cool units. They can spawn beetles. That's kind of fun. They've got tough 9 heroes, 3/3s. That's really good. I think overall it's a solid list. I think where have you just put them? You put them.
I put them mid to top of 5%.
Yeah, I think that's fair, right? I think what makes Wood Elves good, and we were talking about this before actually about list prep in general, but a good list is a list that lets your opponent make mistakes, right? That's fundamentally what it is, right? We always say this is a game of mistakes. Whoever makes the least amount of mistakes wins. It's really hard to like have moments of outplay in OPR, but it's really easy to have moments where your opponent makes the wrong decision, right? Like you've kind of forced their hand into making something awkward, and then maybe they make the wrong decision. Whereas because it's a turn-based game, they get plenty of time to think about it, and if they make the wrong decision, then that's bad. But like in like an instant game, you can really like outplay someone in a moment, right? Like, oh my god, I thought he was going to peek left and he peeked right, or whatever. And I feel like Wood Elves gives your opponent opportunities to misplay, which is pretty crucial, right? Like they can do things like forget your army wide, right? You can not forget your army wide and play around it, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'll do this charge, and you're like, oh no, you can't do that charge, and they're like, good. And yeah, so they've got solid monsters. They've got decent like tough 3 units. They've got good shooting. Yeah, I think 5%'s right.
Yeah. Rule of Cool carries them as well, quite a bit in my mind. And because of how cool the Eternal Range is, I want to put them higher. But I have to really remind myself their spell list isn't fantastic. They do crumble.
Yep.
I think it's right in terms of game design that they crumple if you hit them. But yeah, I think posting them there is right. There are games like against Dwarves and Havoc Dwarves where Wood Elves will just make you feel like you're not playing the game.
Yeah, I will say as well for enjoyers of big stompy stuff, the Great Owl Chimera is an example of a tough 18, and there's not a massive amount of those kicking around in like legal AOF range. And it's got regen and it's quality 4, which is why it fits in it. But like, I wish it was kind of 12 because the idea of a Great Owl Chimera is fucking kind of cool.
But tough 12 instead, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like I think let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 units you can get a tough 18 in Age of Fantasy, and it's one of them. So kind of cool. Got some AP2 cool. In it, decent enough, right? Regen, fearless, stuff like that. But yeah, who's thinking?
Pop quiz. How many of them are there? Did you say 8 units?
I think I just said
that are tough 18. Seven that are tough 18.
That you can field in 1,500 points. So
that you can field. Okay, rats, Wood Elves, Human Empire.
So rats you can't field.
No,
because 500 points, right? I mean, it's slightly more than that.
It's 35%.
Yeah, so it's slightly more than from 500, but
525 points.
Yeah, okay, so I was right anyway. That's fine. So go on. You got Wood Elves, yep.
Wood Elves, Human Empire.
Human Empire, no, it's way too expensive.
Dwarves Coal Golem.
Dwarves Coal Golem is a great shout. That's 550 points and too expensive.
Okay.
On the right thinking with slow units, though.
Yeah, that's going to be a place. The Halflings don't have one, do they?
No, they don't. No.
Oh god, this is a fun game. What else have we got? Is there something in Shadow Stalkers? Do they have a tough 18?
They've got
indeed. A Butcher Titan.
The great Terror Beast. Vampiric Undead is the Butcher Titan. Yep.
Is the Butcher Titan.
Yep.
How many is that? Like
you've got 3.
I've got 3.
And one of them was given to you. 3 of them are really, really obvious. There's one faction in the game that has lots of high tough units in it. And you can definitely guess.
Ogres.
Giants have a.
Oh my god, on Giants.
Yeah, there are 3 giant ones. This is just natural tough 18. Obviously, I think Giants get access to a tough 18 in the mount thing, so they could do that as well.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and the last one's a new one, which is Dragon Empire's Clay Soul Titan. So
never would have got that.
No,
never
exactly.
would have got that. There we go. My knowledge of tough 18, absolute doo-doo.
No, also
let's
I think
pick another army.
Anyway, it's weird though, right? You can kind of spend a 30 army on a giant, you know that, and still fill up an army pretty easily, right? Like it is so cheap for stuff, right? Like, so I think tough 18s probably do have a place, annoyingly, in the game. I kind of wish they didn't. I've said this the longest time. I think tough 18 just shouldn't exist at base scale games. I just think they're too warping. But yeah, you've got one in Wood Elves if you want to go and play it. I don't. To me, like the idea of bringing a 480 point unit in a Wood Elf army feels so incredibly wrong if it's not like hyper elite shooting or something, you know, like I don't want a big monster in Wood Elves. I want a tree. I don't want a monster, and I want guys with bows and people on stags and stuff.
Not an owl chimera.
No, as rad as it
look
is.
at the model for that. Well, okay, so we've covered an area of knowledge that I lack in, and let's continue with that theme as we discuss the Ossified Undead. They are a solid -5% army, if not even a -10, maybe. I think they just disappeared to. Oh god!
I think all Ossified
Definitely
Undead.
not 0.
I think they deserve to be -5. I think that's fine. I will say that I think before they had some teeth before. They used to have lances with poison as it was, bane as it is now, but they lost army-wide bane, and I think they didn't even get lacerate like the Dark Elves did. Which is such a shame because, you know, having an extra +1 to hit, +1 AP, and rolling 6s is actually quite good. They're obviously all slow, and they now got they always had the army wide for fortified, but now it's conditional fortified, so they kind of got nerfed there. They have some nice monsters, like 3/3 monsters and such. But I think Ossified Undead are just like, they're one of these armies that needs a couple more units really to give them a fair shot. I think they're okay, but I think they do deserve -5 place because the things they're doing are like even more fair than the 0%ers, right? Like there's nothing in an Ossified Undead list that you're going like, oh my, that's why, what is that, man? That's what, you know, like it's not there. So I think they deserve to be bottom of 5%. I think Giant Tribe's better than them and Deep Sea Elves are better than them.
One of the things they have got going for them is they literally have an upgrade called the Bone Throne.
Yes, that is true, which is really good in Skirmish.
Really good in Skirmish.
Yeah, less so otherwise.
Less so in main game. One of the biggest problems, and we will talk about this with another army soon, who the fuck gives a damn about -1 AP in Age of Fantasy on Def 4 units? Yeah, they've got a couple of Def 3s, but on mainly Def 4s, if you've got AP against that, my AP -1 doesn't matter. I'm still only making half of my saves.
Yeah.
It's so underwhelming, and in my submissions, does not belong in Age of Fantasy as an army wide at all.
Yeah,
I'd rather have nothing, even if it is like 5 points. It's just.
I think they're close to being good. They just need a couple more units that can make use of the stuff they've got. They did recently get some stuff, right? They recently got archers, I think.
They did. I think they got 2 units. Did they get a chariot as well?
Yeah, there's now a bone chariot. Which I guess is good. Because what they actually have in their army, they have access to precision feat, which is obviously good, and they also have access to Furious Mark, which is also a very good thing. And if they just had more support for it, then I think they would be better off. Maybe, and I'm not sure chariots and archers are doing that for them. They also have a thing called did they have a Great Stalker before? Maybe they did.
They had the Great Stalker before.
They had the Tough 6 hero. Was that true?
Oh, I thought Great Stalker, I don't think he was a hero previously.
No, he's removed, right?
Yeah, that was it. He used to just be a monster, and now he's a hero.
Poor little guy.
Interesting.
Getting shifted around. But yeah, and they have like regen aura and stuff like that. They also have
buff as well.
Something that I think is really funny. Sorry, that's what I meant, yeah. One thing I think is really funny is I think the lore is supposed to say dead. They're called the dead. UR-dead. But so one of the buffs is called the dead nightmare, which is a furious mark, which when I first read it, I just thought it was saying "you're dead" nightmare. Like like Jesus, yeah, furious mark. That is a "you're dead" moment, doesn't it? Really,
You're dead nightmare.
I was like, this is a really weird moment of comedy for OPR. I've never to just be like, "You're dead." It felt like yeah, it's like a little bit Warhammery, a little bit like RuneScapey almost, right? Like that kind of like old school style of game design where they don't take themselves too seriously about stuff. That's what it felt like.
In labs, sorry, massive tangents today. In labs, there's a new game option for you of giving all of the OPR armies their own OPR in world lore correct names.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And without spoiling it too much, look out for it when it comes out in whatever month it does. There is a couple of them that are quite like that. There's certainly one in Grimdark Future that is like that I'm thinking about. That level of kind of like when you see it, you'll go, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
Yeah,
but it's really cool to see when it comes through. I'd love for a "You're Dead" mark.
Yeah,
to be
very
in
like Lizardman names, right? All the Lizardman names in Warhammer are all like dumb shit like tic tac toe and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. Okay, so sorry, Ossified Undead, you are on the -5%. Now let's go back up the ranks, and this is we are not guessing a normal distribution curve here. It is quite staggered, and that's why we do need to revisit it. The Ratmen.
But I will say, with the way it is right now, I think it's fine, right? Because really, the 0%ers are like fair. It feels like, right? Put them to -5 doesn't feel justified at least for now.
I'm not saying we just shift everything down 5%. This is like it's going to be hard to redistribute these, I feel, because Age of Fantasy is so close. The Ratmen, though, let's have a chat about them. I think they are going to be quite high up in our 5%. Mobility very good, good shooting, hazardous insanely good. Reinforcement also incredible. Are they better than Dark Elves, Wood Elves, and Demons of Lust?
Are you asking me or are you thinking?
Both.
Okay. I think yes. I think Ratmen are a 10%er.
You think they're a 10%er?
I do. Yeah, I think reinforcements is fucking stupid. I think that's basically what it comes down to. It's a fucking nonsense rule. It shouldn't exist in the game, especially for how much it costs in the fantasy version. What was it? It's something like it's like fucking pennies or something like that, right? Like you basically save points by taking it. Let's have a look here. Is it the militia? Yeah, the militia is 25 points. So for 150 points, you get for 150 points, you get 20 guys who, when they shake or die, come back. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Really. On top of that, they have other good stuff, right? They obviously have access to hazardous, which is not as good in this as it is in the other ones, but it is nice to have access to some AP4. Like that's good, right? The death rollers are really good. Their great beasts are really cheap. They're called for Def 3 with regen. Scurry is obviously an amazing rule. It's a mobility rule all round. So that's good. I just think they're good. They get ambusher in the heroes as well, which is nice. I think Storm Ogres are some of the most scary 3/3s in the game between Scurry and Furious and Fearless. That's just good stuff. I think overall Ratmen are just like happy little fellas, really, aren't they? And they're just kind of obnoxious to play against. They can really, really do the horde thing really well. We talk about it often, but like if you think about the points a unit costs and compare it to the total number of points you can bring in an army, that tells you how important that unit is. If you take 3 units of militia with the reinforced upgrade, they're 150 points each, right? So that's a tenth of your army. So they're not saving any money for the rest of your army. They're about exactly how much you'd need to spend on each unit for 10 activations.
10 activations.
But they're so much better than most activations, right? They're complete chaff, but just blocking things with chaff is extremely potent in a mobility game, right? You can run your little militia up halves around their unit and go like, right, well, if you don't charge it, it's going to charge you, or it's going to throw rocks at you or something like that. And if you do charge it, well, I'll just scoop it and put it somewhere else next turn. It's not the end of the world. I think that alone makes it pretty strong. And like the death rollers are good, right? Like, what's it? I think they've still got heavy
death rollers
impact
are so good,
and defense debuff, and they have unpredictable fighter on a bunch of stuff, which is just good. Yeah, I think Ratmen are just kind of really solid in a really obnoxious kind of way. So
The death rollers as well. They have defense debuff, which is just -1 to defense rolls the next time you make them, and they have heavy impact. So
yeah,
actually, that thing is coming in with 8 hits AP2,
yeah, which is good.
which is mental. Really good. Is a great death roller. Okay, I'm with you on the 10% then.
Yeah, but I definitely think bottom of 10%. Like I think Vampiric Undead and Shiv King's got a little bit more punch over Ratmen, but Ratmen do something that no one else does, which is if you watched our GDF tier list, same thinking there, right? When you have access to a rule that no one else does, that's a really good reason to like. It's a reason to look at them and go like, oh, right, okay. And Scurry as well is just an amazing rule in AOF.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the Shadow Stalkers. I want to put them in the zeros.
Yeah,
Bottom of zeros.
Yeah, they have one really, really good unit. And then the rest of their units are kind of okay. And I think they've got the Wood Elf thing, which is fun. They're like a less elite version of Wood Elves. I think they get Thrust Aura. I think they do get Thrust Aura, don't they? They get Thrust Aura and Counterattack Aura, I think.
They get Counterattack Aura. Do they get Thrust Aura?
They used to get access to...
Thrust and Melee Aura, yeah.
Yeah. Because it used to be either +1 to hit, Bane, or speed is what they used to get in the old versions. But now they get Thrust, Counterattack. And do they still get Fast Aura? Is that a thing? Does Fast Aura even exist?
They have Rapid Rush Aura.
Oh, yeah. That's where they got ruined. Yeah, we got ruined too. Rest in peace.
RIP.
Yeah. Yeah, Shadow Stalkers are good, right? They've got some decent monsters. They've got access to... Are they called Tormentors? Is that what they're called? The 4/6s.
Your favourite unit in the game, yeah. Tormentors.
Tormentors, yeah. Yeah, the 4/6s with the limited weapons and scout. Yeah. That's just an amazing unit. Such a great... For a scout unit, especially in AOF, with the minus charge range, you scout up 12 inches... It's really, really annoying for them to deal with it. You got a limited weapon. That's always good in the game. That's what makes Shadow Stalkers really good. I think Shadow Stalkers are probably better than half. I think maybe they're actually just below War Warriors for me. If I'm looking at this list, we didn't
see. I think they're firmly at the bottom of zero for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I think
because
charge
they haven't got. They've only got Caster 3 on a tough 6, and then maybe a Titan. The rest of their roster after Tormentors is just kind of doo-doo. They've got the Magic Wand guys. What are they called? The Spectres? The Spectres, but they're Qual 5.
Yeah.
Shadowhounds and Mare. One of the things they do have
precision mark, right? That's the thing. Don't they have precision, like the precision tag or something on their wanders?
Yes.
Right. If you recall,
sounds right.
Remember we did a list doctors episode, right, where we list doctored Shadow Stalkers, and it's like a lot of taking precision marks, which buffs their thing up quite a lot. They also have access to ethereal on some of their units, which is a very good rule. Melee evasion, stuff like that. I think they're good, right? I think they're a little bit more my playstyle than your playstyle, perhaps.
Maybe.
But I think they end up with that position where they have lots of like decent hitting with low defense, which is like, gets a man going, really, doesn't it, in the night? Volcanic Dwarves, do we want to move up as well? Are Volkies better than... I think... no, I think they're fine there, actually. I take it back.
Yeah, I think that's kind of fine right now.
Yeah.
The one of the things that I will definitely give a big plus to Shadow Stalkers for is the Ascended Fiend. It's a Qual 3 Def 2 Tough 12 unit in Age of Fantasy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got melee evasion. Like, that fucker is hard to kill.
Minus to charge. I think it's also got some AP2 attacks, doesn't it?
Maybe? No. It's got Unpredictable Fighting Mark.
Yes.
And AP1.
Yeah.
And it's got Ambush. So just a whole load of fun there.
All their things are pretty good, aren't they? Right. I think the casting one is still pretty good as well. It used to be able to teleport, and now I can't teleport. Right. They removed that, which is
the Great Screecher. Yeah.
It does have. So one thing they do have is they do actually have their boost in a lot of their base units. Shadow Stalkers as well, right? Which is kind of cool, right? You can give their like base unit, I think, double up charge range. Yeah, which is not something you see really anywhere else as well. So Shadowborn really play into the minus charge range thing, which I think can make them quite oppressive into the right matchups, right? I think they do auto win some things, right? Like against dwarves. Dwarves are going to really struggle to do anything against Shadow Stalkers. Because they just, they can't charge them. That's another change that's coming into the game, I believe. I believe there's going to be a cap on how much you can reduce someone's charge. Because I think Shadowborn Booster would bring it to a -4, right?
-4.
-4, so it means dwarves are charging 4 inches, which is like GG, bro. You ain't doing it. Really, there's no way. 5 inches with a musician, that's a disaster. A charge, right? A charge. If you, like, I got a tape measure right here, right? Like a 4-inch charge is an absolute fucking joke. Like, look at that. Like what is that?
Hey, on the camera that was bigger than your head, so
yeah. I've got a tiny head,
Don't knock
guys.
it.
When you meet me in real life, you're gonna be like, Jesus Christ, this man's got a 3-inch head.
What you don't realise is when we turn up to events, we're so successful because Harvey is one of the minis I put on the board.
Yeah, I know. Look, here's a box of minis, guys, compared to my head. I fit on about a 40mm base, to be honest.
We at least give you a 60.
Oh, that's so kind of. Is it an oval? Please let it be an oval.
Yeah, of course. You're not getting a full round one. You're not that big. This guy. Shadow Stalkers can sit right there.
Yep.
Moving on, we've got the Saurians. I'm torn on the Saurians a bit. I think they're really good. Are they good enough to pip it into 5%? I think so. But I could also be talked away from it. I think they've got access to Caster 4, which is unique, a reasonable spell casting pool. The Tyrannosaurus is cool. They're better, I think, in context than Saurian Starhost are in the context of Grimdark Future. Gators are cool. I think I want to put them bottom of 5%.
I think they, yeah, I think that's a relatively fair read. I think they're very similar to Demons of War in that they're kind of like, they don't really play them ability game, but they have nice tools, so you kind of forgive them a bit. So like the Saurian veteran on Tyrannosaurus is really good, especially because he gets the protection feat for 5 points, and he gets rapid charge aura now as well, so he's doing bits like that. They've got disintegrate on a lot of their weapons, which is actually pretty nice. It's not like the worst thing to ever come around. They do get precision mark now, precision target, right? Which is the same thing we saw in the GDF version, right? But it's obviously very good in Age of Fantasy. +1 to hit is great.
Yeah, +1 to hit is great.
It used to be it only worked on things with it, right? So it used to be that like bait or whatever it's called. So other units with bait would also get. It was +2 back then, but yeah. That's no longer the case, so that's a massive kind of like increase. But yeah, it's precision feat, right? Precision feat is really good. Big stacks of Saurians. Saurians are relatively cheap for what they are. They're 4/4s, and they have army-wide fearless.
Fearless is big.
I say army-wide. They have mostly army-wide fearless. I don't think the Geckos have it. They have 6 ups into 4 ups, which is a nice damaging thing. They have protection feat. I think Saurians are really good. I would put them maybe even above Havoc Warriors. Just because I think protection feat is just so incredibly good, because stuff like a Lust Warriors list, right, or sorry, Lust Demons list comes down, throws its stuff into you, and if you can't do the big bursty thing that it's trying to do because of protection feat, and you end up winning combat, you immediately grind an army to a halt in that circumstance. So I think that's good. They're also just one of these lists that has a bit of everything. Right, there's not really.
Yeah, they are very versatile.
Yeah,
so ambush is maybe the one thing they're short on.
I think they have ambush aura though. That's how they used to have
ambush aura.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the Gecko champion, right?
No, it's gone. Actually, yeah, it's gone. Yeah. So they used to have ambush do that, and they don't anymore. So I guess ambush is the one thing they can't do apart from the pterodactyls and ripjaw dactyls.
Yeah.
Which actually, I guess the ripjaw dactyls are probably a lot better in this than they are in Grimdark Future, yeah, because they've got impact, they've got heavy impact.
They have 3 heavy impacts exactly per model on an ambushing, fast flying thing with precision targets. They can come in and do something.
And three Bane weapons as well, right? So like if you do hit on the 5 ups, that's probably going to wound in AOF. Either way, I think Saurians have got a bit of everything, and I think that means they can live. They also have access to. I'm right in thinking this, aren't I? Can they transport things in their Triceratops? No, they can't.
Triceratops? No.
Oh no, that's it. Yeah, sorry. In GDF they can. I'm getting confused. But they can get a caster in the Triceratops, which is a really interesting thing because it's a tough 12 caster.
The Gecko Priest, right?
Yeah. And they have some decent spells, right? They can give Shred out.
9 hits with Bane.
9 hits with Bane is their level 3 one, yeah, which is obviously a really good Age of Fantasy spell. I think overall, Saurians are full of like really solid stuff, and then protection feat means that they're more than solid. So yeah, it's one like I think we said this. If you haven't watched the Playstyles and Archetypes video, Saurians are, I think, one of the examples of a defensive army that works. Right, it's an army that you don't need to worry about being charged in the same way you do other armies. And you can really play the kind of like move on to the points and really grind. You can pick a charge you want to make and you grind out the rest of them, and like you can scout some geckos up and they can do their thing, and you can bring up your Saurians behind it and have some big meaty Gators doing their bits after that. And yeah, they can do a lot of primal boost buffing stuff, which I think is good, and big blobs of units with casters in them is always good. They also have, I always get confused between AOF and GDF, but I'm pretty sure. No, they don't, right? I was going to say the Saurian Guardians have access to A2, but they don't, right? The A2 in GDF.
That's from Dark Future, only.
Yeah. So, Saurian Guardian nowhere near as good as on this. But Chameleons did recently, I believe, get Fireballers, which they didn't have before.
And Shredmark. Bane?
Just A2.
Shredmark, that's what I'm thinking of.
They also have Shredmark,
Shredmark is really good. It's less good when you're not doing deadly cheese, but very, very good to have when you're like setting up your waves of your attackers and your different, like the different roles that they're filling in the battlefield. And then you follow up with Gators who are very resilient, that if they hit something with a Shredmark will deal extra unexpected damage. Yeah.
Also, Raptorites are a really good cavalry unit as well. They have the extra Ravage attack, and obviously impact and lances and all that kind of usual stuff. So very aggressive unit there as well. Yeah, big fan. Yeah. But I think really the Tyrannosaurus, right? Tyrannosaurus with protection feat is doing a lot of work.
Tyrannosaurus with protection feat and handing out the primal boost buff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Sky City Dwarves. I think we can just go straight down to the -10s here.
This website hates you.
It does, but it's worked. Sky City Dwarves. What do they have? Interestingly, they've got defense 2 up, tough 9 boats. Mm-hmm. Those boats deal 9 damage per attack when fully kitted, and their core units suck. That's about it.
Yeah, so what Sky City Dwarves actually have going for them is they have a support weapon style unit with access to flamethrowers.
They do, yeah.
It does waste their +1 to hit over 9 inches. I think they get relentless, yeah. I'm pretty sure they
relentless do. But they're reliable.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the best unit they've got because it helps you do like AOF chaff clearing stuff, which I think is really good. The problem Sky City Dwarves have got really is that they're clearly meant to be built around their boats, and their boats kind of just blow dick. They're quality 4. They have like basic A6 or whatever attacks because they're treated as just a normal unit. They're not treated like a tank with impact, so they don't get the discount there either, right? So they're just very expensive for what they're trying to do, which is not great. And then you're kind of delivering range units closer up the board, and you don't have to deliver them in with double speed straight into your opponent's face. But it makes you go like, how much do I really need this then? If I'm trying to shoot from over 9 inches away, I don't know. Like the boats don't really seem worth bringing. And then they've got these balloon rigger and balloon scout or something units, which are just like an absolute mess of a unit. They're like, it's like the hybrid problem defined. They're such weird units. They got a melee version recently, but the melee unit, it can like replace one of the, like, is it A3 AP2 weapons they got? You can replace one of those with like a 12-inch range gun that lets them move an extra 3 inches or something. I don't know. It's like something is wrong with that army.
There is something manifestly wrong with that unit because it's upgrade one of the melee weapons with a 12-inch A3 AP1 gun and hit and run shooter aura. So that hit and run shooter aura only applies to the one unit. The one model, because you only get 3 shots. You can't upgrade anyone else with it. And then they've got Melee Slayer and flying and everything that would lend them towards that being a reasonable melee profile. But then this random upgrade. Yeah, so they actually have fuck all upgrades for a unit that would make sense. And then they're 4/4s anyway, so they're just not exciting. The army doesn't have punch. It doesn't have staying power. The boats are kind of cool, but you're doing very little with them.
Yeah, the boats being quality 4 and not really doing much in terms of damage. I think they have to get the most amount of damage. They get relentless unless you give them transport. And
oh yeah, you lose it, don't you?
yeah, you lose relentless when
transport.
you're given transport, which to me is like, what? This is an army based around boats. Why are we like making them choose either or, right? Make the boats cool, right? Like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
going on here? Same with like bombing run. I think bombing run is a replacement for some of their weapons and stuff, and like they're just really, really weird units that get 1 attack per wound and they're quality 4. So really, they're doing fuck all, and you're leaning entirely on using flamethrowers to kill all your opponent's stuff, which has got anti-synergy with that army wide. So why we're using this flame unit in particular, I don't know. Yeah, they're just one of the. I mean, like I've played a couple of games of Side Dwarves. I won them all, to be fair, but I'm not sure that's because the army was any good, right? It's just because, you know, like moving on to points is strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can play a really Weasley game with them. That's the one advantage, right? Because you do have flying, and then the boats are fast, right? They are. So they've got fast and they've got flying, and so you can like move on to points at the end of the game, and that's basically what they're really good for. But yeah, I think Sky City Dwarves is like all their units let them down. The boats are like not as good as they should be. Their base units are not really doing as much as they should be. The flamethrowers are good, but they've got anti-synergy with the thingy weapon, and then all their melee ones, all the balloon guys are crap. Yeah, just an army that needs a pass.
Slow. They've got the Dow thing, right? Over 9 inches +1 when shooting, but then their shooting's pretty naff. They don't have any A2 tough one shooters. And because they're slow, you've so much less control over maintaining that 9 inch. And then you can't even rush onto a board with a onto a point with a double move 12-inch go. Like,
yeah, and all their shooting is really weird as well. All the upgrades they get for guns.
yeah,
There's no like, I just upgrade this gun and it's now the same range shooting the rest of it. There's a bunch of like, that's got 6 extra ranges if you want to do that one. And you have to take like their pistol guys, you take like 1 pistol upgrade that gives it A2, AP1, and you take 1 long rifle upgrade or something like that.
Yeah.
In their crew. And I don't know, the whole army, I don't know. I don't know if it's just like a really old way of OPR building armies or if it was a weird experimental thing, because the whole army feels like not an OPR army. Honestly, it feels like someone described an army to someone who'd never built anything in OPR before. And so they were like, oh, yeah, we'll have like a harpoon gun. That sounds sick. I like that in, right? But doesn't really have the fundamental understanding of how that's going to work when you actually put it in the game. Because why would a melee unit want to upgrade with this weird hit and run shooter, or so they can, like, why wouldn't they not just double move? Like, getting 1 shot and then moving 3 inches for a melee unit? It just doesn't really add up. So yeah. It's very weird. Like, you're never going to use that hit and run for the strength of it, which is moving out of range of things. Right? And using it to move closer is weird.
Also, like, you compare. So we've just discussed, like, Shadow Stalkers, who have something really cool and unique. They've got their boost aura on a banner upgrade for their core units. Why do we not have, on such a narrow list army, why do we not have some more spice just sprinkled in? Like, yeah, there are other armies that have got depth of roster, strong synergy, strong combos, and cool things. And we've got skyboats that are just a bit meh. So I'd like to see Sky City Dwarves get a bit better. It might just be that they benefit from having a melee unit that is reasonable, but they need another pass. So
it's kind of wild that they're the fantasy versions of, like, the fantasy versions of Dow, right? It's like shows you how important the units are over army wides, right? Like, like plus one hit in AOF is really good, but just everything about Sky City Dwarves is just not there. No, it's not there. So yeah. Like, how does the Sky City Dwarf list actually deal with a tough 12 unit? I actually don't know. Like, what, like a War Demon stands in front of Sky City Dwarf list, what do? They just die to it, right? Like, nothing they do kills it. They use their new melee slayer guys.
Knocked out of the sky by an Ascended Harbinger.
Oh, yeah, whatever. Okay, enough complaining.
Duchies of Vinci. Duchies of Vinci are surprisingly good. I think they are in the zeros.
Yeah, I think +1 to hit or AP is a really good army wide. They have access to Precision Spotter, which is actually a nerf from the previous version they had, where they just had +1 to hit within 18 inches. But yeah, duchies are fine. I think you often build a duchies list and you go like, I mean, I feel like I'm missing something. Like the assassins seem cool, and now they get access to AP1. They are kind of slightly cooler than they once were.
Yeah, exactly.
But before then, they were kind of like, they're kind of okay. And then they also have lots of like weird shooting hybridy tough 3 units.
Yeah, the Automata Brutes are a big one for me of going, I really want to like you, but you're 300 points for a Call 4 unit.
Yeah, exactly. They end up being very expensive. So I think you end up playing lots and lots of like hand bow stuff, like all the A2 short range bows on like the guards. I think what they call like city guards.
Automata Guards? No, City Guards, you are right.
Yeah, I think they got A2
A2 AP1 rending shot bows.
Yeah, which is a really, really nice profile, but yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, well, the rest of the army is kind of missing, isn't it? Right? Like that's a sweet unit, but it's also very expensive, and you kind of spam out a bunch of those. And they get unpredictable shooter as well, or something like that. When they're one of their heroes, they get some sort of shooting buff, don't they? Or is it range or something?
They have range Slayer Aura.
Yeah, it's range. That's something. Range Slayer, which is obviously very good. So they have all these like really, really decent shooting tools. But I don't know. There's something about them that I just feel like they fall a bit short. Is it the quality 4? Maybe quality 4 is the problem, but
Thing is that I think they do deserve. I think they're very fair. They are all across the board quality 4, but then they've all got +1 to hit or +1 AP baked in, so it could just be +1 to hit. What's really interesting is that they do have spotters. They've got precision spotters on their militia, and it's upgrade with up to 2. So up to 2 models with 1. So you can get, in a double stack, you can get 4 precision spotters out of your core unit.
yeah.
And that unit is then 150 points plus 60, so 210 points. Which is kind of interesting. If you're setting it up then for your Automata Guard to come in with their A2, AP1 shot bows, and remembering, this is where we've got to remember the thing that we overlooked in our Dow review. Precision spotter applies to melee, so your assassins can actually YOLO in there with your ambushing, hitting on 3s with AP1. Like, that could be really quite potent. I feel like they've got a very good opportunity to do some good combo stuff, but they can fall apart very quickly. They aren't very resilient. Their chunky stuff is hugely
Maybe they're
expensive.
more like Dow than we ever thought as well, then. I feel like, yeah. It's interesting that the scouts no longer get access to the mark. That used to be their one thing. They don't have that anymore. There used to be a lot of good shot in the arm as well, and that's also gone now. So, I mean, maybe they're top end of 0, then I can see them, I think maybe... Yeah, I think maybe better than Human Empires. I think honestly, I might move Human Empires below Shadow Stalkers as well. I think and Havoc Dwarves below Shadow Stalkers as well, but still better than Halflings, something like that. Yeah, that feels more right. I think Human Empires and Goblins being next to each other feels right, because the two big things they've got is good morale chaff, and the rest of their list are kind of like whatever. Maybe Plague Warriors deserve to be higher. I don't know. I mean, I've got an inbuilt bias to Plague, but I just feel like I don't know. It's kind of like. It's so easy to compare Plague Warriors with the other warriors and go like, yeah, I don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really hard to compare Plague Warriors with other things as a result, because I'm just like, they're just the worst one. 6 up into 6 up is nice, but it's nothing compared to 3-inch charges.
Yeah, it is interesting. But also, focusing back on Duchies of Vinci, I think that is the right place for them to be. Slightly worse than War Warriors, but they've got a lot of combos going on. I really wish they had access to Cast 3. I wish that for so many armies. They've got. What's interesting is that they've got this Vita Aerea, and I'm sure that someone like Tanner could say it so much better.
The helicopter.
Helicopter. I thought it was a balloon for some reason, but yeah, helicopter with scout. And 6 shots at range, which is kind of interesting, and like I can see its battlefield role. I'd like to see it just a bit better. Like, I don't know, it's the sort of thing that it's qual 4, which is a bit of a drawback. If that thing had precision spotter, then I'd be fully on board with it. I feel like there is almost too much reliance in Vinci on your units to synergize. None of them stand up well on their own, and because of that, they're not better than 0%.
Yeah, they've got loads and loads of unique heroes. Old Old
Yeah, they
Vinci's
had the
do,
recent
right?
narrative campaign, right?
Yeah, they've got 6 of them. Jesus. So maybe if they ever become viable, then that's a thing we could talk about. But I think for now, probably not.
Yeah. I think they're a
Yeah,
very fair unit, and they're a very one thing, as we'll come on to with some other armies, they're a very good representation of what a 0%er is. They're very fair. You know what they're doing. They've got cool synergies. They've got a nice roster. They've got sick minis. They're not dropping into a battlefield and you go, what the fuck has just happened to me? What do you mean I got charged from 20 inches away?
yeah.
Right? Like that's not coming down on them. But you're there rolling dice for your precision spotters, and rapid advance aura on your heroes means that you're a bit more mobile while shooting. You take a hit and you die, though. And yeah, you've got a bit of choice in your AP +1 or your shooting. So they sit in a fair category, and I think at 0%, that's the right spot.
Yeah, I think they That's kind of what I was saying before, right? You don't really make mistakes against a Vinci list.
Yeah.
Like it just happens in front of you, right? Like the worst thing you could do is blunder into scouts who do literally nothing. So like their assassins come down and kill things, but like when you saw them put aside an ambush and they had the name assassin, you knew they were going to do that, right? Like, so yeah.
But they also cannot if you just don't get your precision spotters.
That's also true, yeah. I mean, you could be a true Dow player and just roll 0 precision spotters every time you roll it. We love
Absolutely.
a 4-up.
Okay, cool. Orcs. Where in the 5% are they going?
Oh, interesting. With Orcs, I'm actually... So, their army ride is great, right? It's the Halfling one again, right? Its 6s are doubled. I think the thing that Orcs got really going for them is the Orc Black War Boss on Wyvern. Is that roughly what he's called? I don't know. Either way, him. Because he does a whole heap of AP4 and he's flying, so you can play terrain and do that kind of stuff. And he's like an absolute world beater. He doesn't get extra charge range. I don't think they get that in their spellcasting list either. I think they have a pretty good spellcasting list as well.
They do.
Orcs are a list that I feel like there's lots of things in there that I think are good. And yeah, that's it really. Like, you know, I look at there's a giant boar rider who you can upgrade with a brute crew, and that's like a really cool tough 9, 4/3, whole heap of attacks, give it ravage, right? Like really, really solid unit. That's like not even that expensive with all that stuff on it. Like the swamp crawler's got a piercing assault buff. That's really good. There's like loads of really, really nice things in the list. And that's great. But I'm totally unexcited by it all. But I think I do agree. I think 5% is where they belong. I think they probably belong above Saurians. Because they do some things. They've got Ravage Banner, which I don't know where the fuck that came from, because it's not in GDF. But you can, if you saw a video last week, you would have seen it already. But you can put a Ravage Banner on a 20 stack of Orcs with speed feet. So you roll 20 Ravage attacks, which are... Ravage is just a wound, is it? Or is it...
They take a wound.
Yeah, which is like...
hit with AP1, I'm pretty sure it is a wound.
It's either hit with AP2 or a wound, but I think it's just a wound. Yeah. That's a lot of dice to roll. Like 20 dice, all 6s are instant wounds.
My pitch for it is that Orcs have very well-defined units, battlefield roles. Their core units have got the scary shields, -1 to hit, which is phenomenal on a block of 20 things. Just saying you've -1 to hit my guy who doesn't give a fuck about your AP. That's an excellent rock unit that, if you want to speed feet and ravage up the board, go for it. But I'm very happy for them to sit back and take it. Their ball riders are Def 6 up, a fast scout impact, and then they've got... they're not. The scout is on the...
It's not... they're not impact,
Wild Boar
right?
Riders?
The wild... Oh, sorry, Wild Boar Riders are A2 Ravage, right?
Wild Boar confused. Wild Boar Riders just being scout is quite good with piercing assault and all their shenanigans. But it's the Boar Riders, that's it. They're 5/5s, fast, furious, impact 1. They can have thrust, and they can have Ravage Aura on a block of 5. So they are doing quite a punchy amount, moving very quickly. The wild lines, I have to remember which one is which. Wild Brute Orcs. Scouting Furious Piercing Assaults, which you don't fucking need, but A1 AP4 Blast 3.
What do you mean?
With Furious.
They've got that one AP3 weapon. What do you mean? How dare you say they don't need Piercing Assault?
I don't know why they've got Piercing Assault. That's just a bit of a meme. But like they can just charge in and blow units up. And Black Orcs are really solid. 4/3s, Melee Slayer A2. When you upgrade them, that's pretty good.
Yeah, they get crossbows now
Giant
for
Ball
some
Rider's
reason.
good. Well, of course they can get crossbows. Why shouldn't they? Good spell casting, nice depth in their heroes. Like, they're good. I think that they are. I think they deserve the middle of 5.
Yeah, and cheap spellcasting as well. 25 plus 65 points, very, very cheap. Yeah, they are really solid. They're really, really solid. And they're a bit like Saurians, right? They're just like a solid army, right? They do everything pretty good. There's nothing that's crazy. Speed feat, I guess, is really, really good. It's probably too good. Do you even run Black Orcs in them anymore? I don't know if you do. I think maybe you just run base Orcs with Ravage or a speed feat and just like 300 points worth of kill that unit. Yeah. Brute spellcaster in it probably as well or something, but yeah.
There needs to be a caveat that at the time of recording this is March 2026, OPR is about to release its Fantasy Orc models, and when OPR releases a mini range, they do go over the army books and they get a bit of a zhuzh up, a bit of a refresh, sometimes a little bit of a nerf, RIP teleporting trikes in the Space Orcs. But those things can change.
At least he can't come for our Goblins this time. He's already done it, right? You know, he won't be taking Goblins away from Orcs. He's going to separate Black Orcs into their own faction or something. And they'll be like, no.
I'd play that faction.
Probably, yeah, they're the best ones.
Fab. Let's go on to the Beastmen. And we did discuss this. Did we say that they're a 0%er?
Yeah, Beastmen are a bit like Orcs in that you kind of go across their list and they've got loads of nice stuff. Like they've got Minotaurs get really expensive, but whatever the Minotaurs are called, I can never remember what the Kemba Brutes, is that what they're called?
Yeah, the Kemba Brutes.
They've got those guys, and they've got like the big version Kemba Giant or whatever it is that's got unpredictable fighter, and it's like Kemba a 4/3. Yeah, they're both good units. I think a lot of their baseline units are kind of whatever. I think like their basic shooting is pretty bad. Their basic chaff is like just normal chaff stuff, so not really to write home about. They've got Undoli Elites, which are 3/3s, and if they had A2 would be really good, but they don't.
That is the one thing that I look at. I'm like, oh, 5 3/3s, let's go. Oh, don't have A2, but they do have Melee Slayer, but I'm not bringing them.
No, I mean A1 is what it is, isn't it? Really. What they do have is the army wide. The army wide is rolling, re-rolling 6s on defense, and this is one of those armies that wasn't built with that in mind, right? Like all the army wides kind of got slapped on top of armies. So anything with good AP in this list got significantly better with that.
That's what the Kemba Brutes really are, right?
Exactly. Yeah, the Kemba Brutes are absolute world beaters because I think they also get like Ravage 2 or something like that, like Ravage 2, AP2 attacks or something like that.
Crush 1.
Crush 1. Oh, what? Oh,
they get 4 attacks AP2, dual hand weapon upgrade for 80 points. That puts them to 240 points, which is excellent. And because they've got Furious as well. And then they can all have Crush 1, which is roll 1 dice and for each 6+, they take a hit with AP2.
Okay.
What Kemba Brutes are exciting for is that they have morale debuff as an optional upgrade for 10 points.
Yeah, that's
so you
cheap.
are charging into a unit with 12 attacks at AP2, re-rolling 6s Furious, qual 3, and then once you've ruined them, if there's anything left alive to make a morale test, they've got -1 to it.
Yeah. You can slap a Kemba Brute boss in that unit as well for some melee evasion or bestial boost buff or whatever, and then you're absolutely destroying fools.
But you're very right. The Giant's really good.
Yeah. Well, so I think it's just like, it's a nice list. There's some good bits in it, but I think that puts it pretty firmly in 0%. It's not doing anything that's kind of blowing your mind. And yeah, I think that's it. The Slimy Beast is your favorite rule on it as well. It's actually quite an interesting piece. It's got morale debuff and it's got mind control.
And it's got an unpredictable fighter.
Yeah. And the interesting about this unit as well is, so at the moment it's reliable takedown with its thing, but when assault comes into the game, I believe it's getting assault, which is making that a lot better of a unit because it can kind of like tongue motherfuckers on the way in, which is cool.
If there's anything that would give you a morale debuff, it would be that.
Yes, being tongued by a slimy beast. God, it actually sounds kind of
call
good. All right, next one.
It's a good thing my wife doesn't watch these videos. Hi, Elves! Another 0%er, I want to say. They've got actually one of my favourite core units in the game, which is the Lion Warriors. Like A2, AP1, Fearless, Defense 3 up, I want to say.
Yeah.
Really solid, like, unit of 5 things. Let's go through a few more positives that they've got. They've got Phoenixes that they can put their heroes on. So their heroes can have Caster 3, Tough 9, and hand out -1 to hit on a flying unit and still deal, I think they have 9 or 10 attacks is what that thing can cap out at. So it's really pretty efficient for like 265 points. Or it can have one that can give out regen. Is it regeneration buff or regeneration? I am a big fan of their Scout Cavalry. They've also, interestingly, got like 2 scouty shooty units, the sisters and the brothers, which are kind of cool. They've got a good giant. So High Elves have got a lot going for them on top of having plus 2-inch move.
Yeah, I mean, I'm about to shit on them then. High Elves are like if you took Wood Elves and made them worse.
Ooh.
I think their shooting is a bunch of A1 stuff, right?
Oh god, their shooting is awful.
Who gives a fuck about that? The one cool thing that High Elves used to have, which I think actually made them really good, is they used to have a thing called Protection Aura or something like that.
Yeah.
Before auras got renamed to what they are now.
It was buff. It was a buff. It was an old. It was a buff. It was like 85
It was
points.
called Protection Aura, but it was a buff. Yeah.
Yeah, and you could give +1 defense to a unit on your activation before attacking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they also had access in the spell list to +1 defense as well. And what that made for High Elves was a really, really cool strategy where you would, I mean, you played it a couple of times, right? Where you just go really buff heavy, you throw out +2 defense on all your units, and you were playing a really, really elite 2-up death army in AOF, and that was good, right? And they had a great spellcasting list, the old High Elf one, and it was really good. And then this patch came around, and yes, they got fast, right, through high, whatever it's called. It's the same as Scurry, like it's +2/+2, right?
+2/+2.
But the rest of the stuff was a bit like, I don't know, like it's just not really kept up with modern times. They lost their really, really one cool defensive debuff thing, a defensive buff thing. The spellcasting list got hit. A lot of their units just seem to not really do as much as they once did. I think did they get indirect mark or something like that, or they get piercing tag and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's like sure, but it's not really doing much, right? They don't have that massive amount of 2 attacks in the army. I think Lion Warriors are good for that.
Indirect when shooting is what they get on their archers, which are a qual for a 130-inch longbow thing, and it's like, it's fine when you're 30 inches, but what are you doing? You're hitting them with maximum of 10 attacks with qual 4, AP nothing. It's not really going to be anything to write home about for how expensive that unit ends up being. Like if you take 10 of them, it's 180 points, 200 points for that. It's not great. And then indirect when shooting, just why am I paying points to limit my mobility and make me worse at shooting? Boards realistically don't have that much terrain that this is so mandatory. It's just if OPR boards were 20 pieces of terrain plus, indirect would probably become a bit better, but it's not. It's too expensive, and -1 to hit is so punishing.
Yeah, for sure. So I just think High Elves are an army that got left behind, to be honest. I think, like, if we actually look across the 0% list, is High Elves really keeping up with this stuff? Right, like, they don't have great morale, they don't have great offense. The offense they have are present in other lists, right? Their unique thing has been stripped from them. Like, what do they have that other things don't have nowadays? And the answer is, I think, nothing.
Phoenixes. I think Phoenixes.
Which Kingdom of Angels have, and I think they do it better.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yeah. I don't know. I think High Elves, for me, they're top of 5%. I think they're not as bad as DCLs.
You mean?
Sorry, yeah, top of -5%, yeah. But I just don't think they do.
Do that.
I just think a High Elf army probably gets its shit pushed in by a Volcanic Dwarf army that just moves up the board. as they gently plink them away with their A1 30-inch guns, which don't matter with bows, but
Yeah.
We hate high elves. Yes, that's good. The second tier list where I've managed to argue you down to -5% for high elves. It's going well. Yeah, I managed to sneak dark elves into 5% here as well. This is working out. My dark elf brethren, the plan is going ahead as expected.
Ghostly Undead, so -10%.
What is Ghostly Undead?
It's not what it once was.
No, it's not. If this was pre-patch, we would be in the over 10% category right now.
Yeah, they'd be absolutely insane.
Ghostly Undead are kind of interesting. They're like a slightly less defensive version of Shadow Stalkers.
Yeah,
they're super reliant on the first charge. If you get a good first charge, so they have probably the best 12-inch shooter unit in the game in Banshees, right? That Banshees are extremely good, right? Like if you're taking a Ghostly Undead list without Banshees, then you're straight up trolling. They then also have 2 decent units in Scythe Ghosts and the other one, which name I can't remember, which goes to show how long it's been since I played Ghostly Undead. What are they called? Glaive Stalkers.
Glaives?
Yeah. So they've got Glaive Stalkers and they've got Scythe Ghosts, which are their 2 best units by far, simply because they have A2. And then the rest of the list is basically irrelevant. Don't ever take chariots. Don't really take any of their other cavalry.
And I didn't even know they had chariots.
Yeah, well, there we go, right? Don't take, literally just don't take anything else. The only other thing you consider taking is Ghost.
Banshees, Glaives.
Banshees, Glaives, and Scythe Ghosts, yeah.
And Scythe Ghosts.
Ghost Hordes could have been...
Hordes.
Yeah, Ghost Hordes could have been thought about before the spellcasting nerf came in for Ghostly Undead. Now that spellcasting list is nowhere near as good as it used to be. It used to be super premium to bury casters inside Ghost Hordes, and that was really good, but now they've got that stupid 18-inch 6-hit spell instead of 12-inch A2. They struggle with good AP. That's why you have to take Scythe Ghosts and Glaives, because they're the only 2 things with with AP, I guess, at all, with more than 1 attack. Their heroes have some nice buffs now, so they've got Unpredictable Fighter, they've got Scout. I think they still have fucking Shielded, which is just bonkers to me. And obviously they got Ethereal changed, so they now have Teleport 6 inches, or instead of but lose 6 inches movement, which is a nice thing to get for such an aggressive army. And this is all to say that Ghostly Undead are okay, right? I think they're very, very aggressive, and they can blow people off the board. They're similar to Lust Warriors in that way. But what they can't do is they can't do with any sort of tough. They're an army that's kind of caught between 2 identities, right? -1 to hit is really good defensively. And previously you would play them like that with morale things, and you'd run around the board and you'd take advantage of Strider. And now instead they go super aggressive, but they don't quite have the bites to do that. If they had 6's AP2 still, and if they could kill things with any amount of tough without just getting absolutely folded on the attack back, then yes. But in the current state, they're missing their -1s to hit, which they really valued before. Chilling was so good, and now they have a defensive version of Chilling, which doesn't really do much for them. I think 0% is fine for them. I think if you come across the right army, then they're going to absolutely roll them over. But there is basically an arms race of mobility going on in AOF, and if Ghostly Undead loses that, which it does because it's just got normal mobility, like sure, 6-inch teleport, you can play Strider's games, but if you're playing against someone who just has better mobility than you, then they do just kill your guys before you really get a chance to do anything, and you rely on impacts, so you don't have that many attacks, and yeah, it's just like a whole plethora of things. But I think they're a 0%er. Fun to play, but Precision Feat's good.
They've had their time.
They have had their time, yeah. Like, don't not play them, but
they're not dead.
No, but if you look at the things in this list, right? Like, I don't know how well is Ghostly Undead doing against Chivalrous Kingdoms, right?
Yeah,
who charges them from 20 inches away.
I was going to say, right?
Yeah,
like you just Shiv Kingdoms, tons of impact with Strider Aura, so you can't even shenanigan them. You are just going down.
Yeah, because impact doesn't get affected. Like the -1 hit doesn't affect impact, and they've lost all their 6-ups into 6-ups, so they're really squishy now. So yeah, the only thing they've got going for them is those 3 units as described, and yeah, you can build a list with those 3, but no army should be reduced down to 3 units. Bring back good casting, because at least if the casting list is good, then you could then do like banner plus caster for 3-up morale in stacks of Ghost Hordes, and then you'd unlock a whole extra unit. Whoa, that'd be pretty sick. But we'll see. I think Ghostly Undead stand a chance to return to the game more seriously with the next patch, because I think the next patch of the game is reducing lethality in the game. So less attacks and -1 to hits is a good combo for something trying to live. So we'll see what goes through in Undead lineup, but I think, yeah, for now they don't compete with anything in the 5% bracket.
Alrighty. Eternal Wardens.
I feel like did we not do a rating of Eternal Wardens recently? I feel like we've had this conversation. Was it in the playstyles? It was in the playstyles video, wasn't it? I was like,
yeah, they came. Yeah,
we've got Eternal Wardens twice in this list. But yeah, go on. No, I'm joking.
Good, because we can put them both down here. No, what do I think about Eternal Wardens? The biggest problem I have with them is this -1 AP on a defense 4-up army. They are touted as being elite and veteran and specialist, and they're qual 4-up primarily. They've got 3 units. No, that's not right. They have relatively few units that are actually qual 3, making them elite. So they aren't actually as elite as they feel. -1 AP in Age of Fantasy ain't the one. We've highlighted in this video so far a few units that have got AP4 and high AP and blah blah blah. It's not great, because put it this way: Havoc Dwarves shoot at you from over 12 inches away and you negate their +1 AP. Well done, you've negated the army-wide rule. You pick up your dice and you still only pass 50% of your saves.
Oh yeah.
Now, it comes through in cost. This is a cheap rule. It's like 5 points per unit. If it's 5 points per model, maybe, then it's probably too expensive. But I don't think it's even that much on average. It's really not very expensive for them.
Yeah.
But it just is points I don't want to spend. I'd rather
cost, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such an opportunity cost. Now, what do they have going for them? A good spell list, some cool heroes, although it breaks my heart that they only have one qual 3 hero, and he's a tough 6 starter, so you don't want him leading units. What else can I say here? The Guardian Elite, the 4/4 tough 6 that can be put onto a Scouting Great Griff with Caster 3, that's a cool unit. The Eternal Lord can go on to a Dragon and become a tough 9, I think. So that's also quite cool on a 3/3 resilient thing. Destroyers are a Grimdark Future unit in Age of Fantasy, and they have got a lot of units in their roster. I don't think they have a lot of depth in their roster is one problem with it. They've just got a lot of, I don't care. That's probably it, right? Like you were talking about Ghost of the Undead being reduced down to 3 units, and Eternal Wardens feel very alone in a crowded room. They have a lot of units, but what does it come down to? Guardians are there. 4/4 units of 5. Wardens are really good. 4/4s, A4 AP 1 Furious Fearless will take it.
Yep.
Winged Wardens, a good ambushing unit as well. A4 AP 1 ambushing flying Furious is good. Destroyers are a really good Grimdark Future unit, but their AP and the cost just feels a bit lost in Age of Fantasy. Their Chariot, tough 9, very interesting, quite good. Then I just run out of things to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you in general. I think Destroyers are an absolutely amazing unit. 4 attacks, AP2 is a lot on a 3/2, right? With Infiltrate, right, and Fearless, right, that's a really, really, really good unit. Like you say, it's a GDF unit in AOF.
295 points, is it?
265 points, which honestly is not that expensive. The big problem that they've got, right, is so before I would have said Eternals were on the list. So before I think it was Wardens, Wing Wardens, Eternals, Destroyers. I've got a soft spot for the Chariot, I agree. And then I think the Lords are good. They were the units that were really, really doing stuff for me. But then they got rid of Blast on everything and replaced it with Smash.
Hold on. Yeah, the minus 10% on Smash alone. I will pass on Smash as well.
Yeah, Smash is wild. It's Def 5 to 6, you get Blast 3, and otherwise you don't get anything, right? You get Ignores Regen, I think. But a load of the weapons it's on are AP4 ones.
I think all of them are high AP.
Yeah. So it's like So what? I get 2 attacks against the stuff I like with AP4 where I'd like to apply this weapon, but then also if I attack Def 5, then like I'm now applying an AP4 weapon to Def 5, and I only ever needed Def
always
AP1.
have waste.
Yeah, exactly. There's
always
no
have
winning.
waste with it.
Things that would make Eternal Wardens as an army good, I think, is if the Eternal Lord got access to Caster, because then you could have a Caster 3, Infiltrate, Def 2, Fearless. I think he gets 8 attacks AP2, does he? Yeah. 8 attacks AP2. You would just take 3 of those, and then that would be really, really good. I think base game Eternal Wardens are okay because of like doing a pretty heavy ambush strats, right? You take Wing Wardens, or you take the Eternal guys, and you just run in and destroy guys. Sorry, you run in and just like blow things up, which I think is good. But yeah, once again, just like it's a weird list. You really want to be taking advantage of their -1 AP by putting in lots of destroyers and stuff. That's going to make them very obnoxious to deal with. If they had a way of getting regen, it'd be really good. But yeah, Eternal Wardens is one of those armies that's like, if it was built like a GDF list, it would feel more like what Eternal Wardens are supposed to be.
Elaborate on that point.
Like if you just ported custodians, right? Like they're the AOF custodians without good defense, right? Like it's weird, right? Like custodians just get Def 2 literally all over the shop, no problem. Eternal Wardens, they're like, for your base unit, we'll do a 4. Is a 4 okay?
Yeah.
I hope you manage a 4. Yeah, and it's like, well, I thought it was supposed to be these big scary motherfuckers in armor and stuff. Yeah, I think Eternal Wardens are okay. I just don't think they're meeting their fantasy.
I've won an event with Eternal Wardens, right? Like,
yeah,
they are okay. I think they need shit pushing. I'd rather they had no army wide.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think in base game that they're fine. In progressive, then I think they kind of eat shit. I played a game actually of Eternal Wardens versus Volcanic Dwarves in the last couple of months. And the funny thing about that is Eternal Wardens just can't use their army wide ever because the dwarves never charge them over 9 inches overweight. They just come in with Melee Slayer and just like fucking cleaned up. It was wild.
We haven't talked about dwarves yet, right?
Yeah.
If it was that army wide rule, they'd feel so fucking
+1
different.
defense would be, yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
But AP -1 for the same reason that you can't have the Wood Elves and the Shadow Stalkers rules in Grimdark Future. AP -1 on the other side, like in Grimdark Future, it would be fucking oppressive. On the other side, AP -1 should not make its way into Age of Fantasy. And what's worse is that army-wide rule is probably going to stay for 3.6 when everyone and their mum is losing AP. Like, it's just going to be the most redundant, useless army-wide rule that I just want my big, shiny, tough 3 army. I want to bring 15 models to an event, and it'll just feel shit. Really, yeah. I'd rather play nearly anything else.
Yeah, for what it's worth, the official line about 3.6 is now that everyone and their mum's losing AP. Because I know if Tano's made it 2.5 hours in this video, he'll be sat there going like, "You fucking bellends." That's not what's happening.
He'll DM me, and
that's what it feels. Rage. It feels like that. He's said it a million times. It's not like that. We'll see what it's like when it actually comes out. But yeah, if there is a general reduction of AP, then the Eternal Wardens thing is a joke. But yeah, in theory there isn't. But we'll see. So yeah, Eternal Wardens. I think you can just leave them. I think you can leave them there. Maybe. Yeah.
I think that.
Yeah, I think that, they still have Furious and Fearless, so they're still good enough, right?
I do personally put them lower than High Elves, but I think that's mostly just my emotions getting involved. I think they are probably better.
Yeah. The thing they suffer with is like a lack of mobility, which in base game you can bring ambush, so you're fine. If it's any other game mode, if it's progressive, then I think Eternal Wardens all of a sudden go all the way down because I recently played, I don't know what list was I even playing, I don't remember. Goblins, right? I played a Goblins list where I took all stone giants, all stone trolls and all base goblins, and I had literally nothing with mobility in the army. Everything moved 6 inches. And it was absolutely miserable, right? Because you just can't play, right? You move things and you roll dice, but you can't do things to put pressure on your opponent because they have all the options. So you end up playing a really simple strategy, which is lame. And I think Eternal Wardens will fall into that if you're playing different game modes. If this was like a Raiders on a tier list for the current pack, you're forced into like one strategy with Eternal Wardens with like Laser Scout and stuff, which is not ideal either.
Okay. Now is the time.
Push them to the end. Goodbye. Yes.
To blue ball you all. Wait and watch.
Nice ones, Bose.
It's also
you
on
gotta
YouTube, so
you can't skip ahead. No, there are no chapters down below. There are no chapters in Don't Think Just Charge videos.
Kingdom of Angels. The Kingdom of Angels. What do we have to say about these guys? I think they're very fair. I think they've got some cool things going on there. They're angels. The actual angels are mid-tier Eternal Wardens units with a 6-up.
Yeah.
The Winged Wardens from Eternal Wardens are better angels than the Kingdom of Angels angels. That was a sentence. But they've got nuns, and the nuns are really good. Penitents are good. They're called Castle Guard, City Guard. Oh, but they don't have A2.
No, Palace Guard.
Palace Guard.
They're tough 3 ones. Yeah. So yeah, things they've got going for them in terms of they've got so in the beta they had this thing with Crossing Strike where Crossing Strike was guaranteed hits. There's a video up on Warboss Vitz's channel. I know, I did it first. Where he played it in the beta and he just like takes angels and like flies over one of Uncle C's units and Uncle C's like, wait, what do you mean I just take 18 hits with AP1? And he's like, yeah. There's no roll. You just take those. He's like, this is some fucking bullshit. And then like charge them and do it up as well. They don't have that anymore. It's now on a 4-up, which is lame because that sounds quite fun. They do have some good stuff, right? So they've got Slayer Mark, right? Which is a thing you just want to see everywhere, right? So Slayer Mark's always nice, right? It's basically like fuck you tough units. As mentioned before, Slayer is a really, really good rule. One of the nice things about Slayer Mark is you just put it on the unit where it's useful, right? Like it's not like you're just gonna do that,
right?
Yeah, like you're not gonna put it on the units where you don't use it, right? And you can probably put it on the units where you do need to use it, and then anything is then effective against it, which really, really makes it scary for them to use their tough 3 unit or their tough 12 or whatever, right? So that's quite good. I think the angels are all right? You got the precision debuff ones, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, the frost ones.
For me, the things that let Kingdom Angels down is their base units. I think their base units just kind of suck. Like a lot of their chaffy style stuff. Like it's got 6-up regen, sure, but otherwise I'm just like...
So their penitents are really good, I think, because they're 10 of them for cheap with a 6-up into a 6-up, and they've got that exploding spores thing that we spoke about earlier, which are on the eels. Let's find it.
So this is actually different. This is Death Strike. What I think the unless they've renamed the other one, the other one's not Death Strike. This is when it dies in melee.
This is when it dies in melee. Oh, that's interesting.
Retaliate is when it takes a hit, is it?
Takes a wound. When this model takes a wound in melee.
Yeah, so for like tough 3, it does
is the exact same thing for tough 1 units.
Yeah, but for tough 3 it's different. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yes, the penitent bomb, I guess, is a thing to talk about. Because it just does that 1-to-1 trading thing and shooting kind of sucks in AOF, yeah. That's fair.
So that is interesting. That's kind of exciting.
Then I look at the rest of the stuff and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. They've got Furious Aura, which is quite cute. They've got, if you wanted to do no retreat aura, they have got it. We do start to run out here. I've pulled it up here. Paladins, yes. I like having a 3-4 unit, but they don't have access to A2, but you have Palace Guard, which are A3, AP1 rending, which are fine. And they've got the Slayer Mark. Their angels are sadly just a little bit underwhelming. Yeah, they're fine. They're just not really thrilling me.
If their angels had access to A4, yeah, it would be a different story, right? They'd be really good with A4. Because I think Slayer Mark does a lot to carry an army. And I also think that the like Panthers are pretty good, right? They're just like
Panthers are good.
Two attacks fast, strider, especially with Slayer Mark, right? Then you start to throw some of that in there. That seems to be good. But yeah, once again, we're talking to that list. Nothing in there sounds like it's going to break the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Death Strike Penitence is certainly the most spicy thing there. Taking 20 hits when you die is pretty funny. but yes, I think fine. It's actually, if it was wounds, it would be better for them, right? Because they could then regen the wound.
No, because you ignore wounds.
You ignore it. You ignore it. Yeah. With the 6 up as well, right? Just say ignore, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't take the wound and then untake it. Yeah, it's ignored. Oh, and I forgot. Yeah, there are army ways actually for spells as well. It's a 4-up against spells.
I had forgotten that as well.
Which, depending on who you're playing, might be really good or might be the same as a 6-up. I don't know.
We're not really in the massively thrilled. I think they're actually into the -5%. I think they're worse than giant tribes.
I think I think they're just better than high elves. Surely they're better than high elves.
No, I think high elves, Lion Warriors. I think the Phoenixes are better actually because they're tough 9 in high elves with a caster on top.
If you take the hero version, yeah.
Yeah, that is what I mean there. I do think high elves are better. I want to push high
Phoenix
elves
Riders, right? You got the tough 6 version, Phoenix Knights.
Yeah.
Which
you can't get any tough 9 ones in Kingdom of Angels. I think they're worse than high elves. Yeah, I think.
No,
I think they
surely
are
not, because Panthers are just better than Lion Warriors, surely.
I don't know.
You just take Panthers instead.
If you want a fast unit, then you've got the Scout Cavalry in high elves,
which I'm not sure is the most amazing unit. I don't know. I think put them together. I think I think they're just better, right? Like surely they're just better. Slayer Mark is so much more useful than anything high elves ever get access to. Deathstrike Penitence, which is something I had missed, is good, right? Like they've got Furious Aura for doing actual damage. Both of them, I agree, suck for ranged, right? And a lot of their units are in the same category of being like, why would I run this, right? Like I'm pretty sure there's even like 1-to-1 rip-offs between Kingdom of Angels and Thingy. They're very similar lists, aren't they? But yeah, I don't know. I mean, neither of them is anything to really write home about, but yeah, put them like that because I think they are very, very similar.
Okay.
But Slayer Mark is sweet.
Brill. We're into the final 4 now, and they're all...
My lord.
They're all pretty good. Ogres, my lord. 5%, if ever I've seen one. Army-wide rule in itself, just army-wide shred is great.
Yeah, so the only reason I agree with you at 1,500 points is because of little ones.
Yeah.
They're called little ones, yeah. If it weren't for little ones, I think Ogres at 1,500 points doesn't quite work. But the fact that little ones exist is a massive, like 20 stacks with counterattack, which is obviously not as good as, is it just called counter? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as good as counter in places with cavalry, but in all other circumstances, it's just a direct upgrade. Having ones do double damage, 20 of them, 5/6s, they're very, very cheap for that. And you can give them range weapons if you want to spend a bit of extra cash on them. But otherwise, you're spending 60 points, I think it is. I don't think they've got. I think they actually went down in price for some reason when the shred thing came in. Something to do with like the average unit costing for shred or something. I don't know, something weird. But yeah, the point is they're really good and they carry ogres quite heavily because the rest of the ogre roster is fine. But the big mammoth, if you've watched our like tournament pack things, we were talking about ogres quite a lot, and they took quite a heavy nerf with the shred change. But we were playing 2,000 points, and in 2,000 points you can bring the Lord on
a tough 18
a mammoth
with
thing,
2 deadly 3 attacks.
You can bring 2 of them no problem, right, and still make a full army. You struggle a lot more at 1,500 points. I still think that's a really, really good unit. But yeah, without little ones, ogres have got nothing to really talk about. Yeah. But with them, I think they actually go quite high up the 5%. I think they're probably Saurian Orc level. Saurian Orc Havoc Warriors level. I think they're good around there.
Yeah, I'll take that. Their core ogres are so good. They've got good shooters.
Yeah.
Their devourers are fab. Fangbeast Rider is just excellent and efficient.
Oh, of course, yeah. And base game as well, we're talking here, right? So one of the ogres' big problems for like tournament packs is they're only giving up 2 scout units, right? And they're really fucking expensive. But base game, you don't need it as much. So yeah, you just take Fangbeast Riders and you buff everything up with morale and you give them unwieldy, which is obviously much better in AOF, and yeah, you just roll on the board. So yeah, ogres good there. Ogres
very, very good. Dwarves, another 5%, absolutely just so resilient and hard to move with that sturdy, and Iron Warriors coming in and doing their things, access to Slayers, depth of roster. I think, if I recall correctly, a reasonable spell list as well.
Yeah, but
Dwarves
hard to get to.
pretty good.
You have to have tough six casters, right? I think.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, access to it. I think the problem dwarves have got is their shooting is not great. They have like the scout 12-inch guys. I spoke about this in a video recently. Dwarves' problem in the base game is getting to the fucking points, right?
Yeah.
Like their only way of getting onto the point is scout and ambush, really, for backside points, because you're just never going to make it with the other things. You have to take a swiftness aura, and then your opponent just kills your swiftness aura guy. So I think, I don't know. Dwarves are really, really scary when they get to do what they want to do. If you're the kind of guy who rocks up to the table and your opponent go like 3 down the middle, and you go like, yeah, 3 down the middle, you're going to enjoy playing dwarves. If you're the kind of guy who gets to the board and someone goes like, they roll a dice and they get 5 objectives and they immediately put one on their line because they've watched Don't Think Just Charge objective placement video, go watch it. Then you're going to have a sad time as dwarves. So depends on how you're playing, but I could see dwarves being 0%, a top end of 0%. Because I look at them next to like War Warriors and Duchies, and I think they're all doing similar stuff. The problem with dwarves is the predictability thing, right? Like, you know exactly what dwarves are going to do when you come against dwarves. And you know that if you deal with the miners, then they can't get to back objectives. And yeah, I don't know. I think in a world where mobility is so good, it's really hard to say dwarves are good. Because you just end up slowly whittling them down and getting charges on them. And Iron Warriors are really, really great.
They're really good.
But they're not like other horde things where they can get 20 of them, right? There are only 10 of them. And another big thing as well about dwarves is their army wide is over 9 inches away.
Yeah.
And they charge 8 inches without a musician. So you need to have a musician to really make use of your army wide, because without it, your opponent can park 8.1 inches away from you and do your fucking head in, because you can't charge them and they charge you next time without your +1 defense. So, but yeah, dwarves are good. But yeah, I think I can see them kind of in like dwarves, ghostly undead, war warriors, duchies. They all feel like they're occupying the same space in my mind.
Yeah, that's reasonable. I'll take that one. And then the Mummified Undead, I think, go slightly above the dwarves, mainly because 195 point tough 12 guys.
Yeah.
15-inch charges, really good scouts, lots of access to good tough 12 things. I quite like them. Top of 0, bottom of 5.
Yeah, I think Mummified Undead are a bit like giant tribes, but with more units. I think like the thing that giant tribes are trying to do is big stompy boys, right? But Mummified Undead get that, but they also get mummies and ambushing units and a really good spell casting list, access to caster 3. Difficult terrain debuff is very good. They get the mobility thing because of their Royal Legion March, whatever it's called. So yeah, I think good stuff from Mummified Undead. They are slightly fair, right? Like they're like all round nice quality, like good units, well costed, but they don't have anything in the list at all apart from difficult terrain debuff that would make you make a mistake against them, because it's
the
all
relative game plan.
Yeah, it's very, very like plain, simple strategy, I think, from Mummified Undead.
I think that's a very good way of describing it.
Yeah, there are a lot of stats.
Yeah. Fab. Okay, and then we come on to the Dragon Empire.
Right, add a new tier. 15%. Tano has ruined the game with his latest army.
Minus 15%. They're the worst army that's ever been introduced. No, that's not what we think at all. I'm just going to stick them.
Let's go, yeah. Let's go have a wander around the page. Here we go. All 3 Dragon Empire fans, it is your time. Here is your mini review. Get super excited. We did do a poll in the Discord for what video people wanted next. And it was an absolute landslide victory for this and the previous video over Dragon Empires. So here you go.
So this isn't going to be a long one. This is a very whistle-stop tour.
Let's start a 3-hour review.
No, because Dave needs to go to sleep. They've got the Eternal Dynasty Saurians. 6s give you extra attacks army-wide rule.
Yep.
So we're thinking here, how can they be quite offensive? Their spell list, I'm going to skate through it, sucks. 3 hits with Splinter is just not a reasonable spell. I don't care if it's 24-inch range.
Splinter in general is a fucking joke as well. Splinter
tough 3
is
to tough 6.
Well, we were talking about it. Yeah, tough 3 to tough 6. It's the only one that's like that. And if you look at Eternal Dynasty, they have the same thing, but theirs is 3 till 9. I don't know why this one's 3 till 6. I think it may be because Tanner wanted unique ones for every army, but I think Puncture appears a couple of times and stuff like that. I don't know. It's such a weird decision, but sure. And AP4 as well is not as useful in AOF as it is in GDF.
Yeah.
So even the
indirect when shooting just sucks. I hate it. I hate how prolific it is. I am nearly never taking it.
It's tough as well because you're marking enemy units. So if you mark an enemy unit, then you have to use it next time you shoot. So even if you don't need the indirect, you
move, you get -1 to hit.
And then if you're using less than 3, then why are you casting all 3 as well?
Yeah. Let's go through. I think just go through the good units now, right? Let's go through what is encouraging. Dragonkin Lord, very interesting to have. He has a melee slayer aura on him, warrior boost aura, and then he gets to ride a great tiger. I think that's pretty cool, really, to have. You can have him at 10 attacks on a Fear 1 Strider, Tough 9 guy, Qual 3 with quasi exploding 6s that can be expanded. He's fearless. That's pretty okay.
Yeah, not bad.
Claysol Levy. So say the comment you had there. So within the army there are these themes of Dragonkin and then Ravens, and then there's Claysol, the Terracotta army for those Chinese mythological enthusiasts amongst you. That's what they are here. There are 5, 6, 10 of them. They've got A1 count on Royal Warrior, 85 points, so cheap and cheerful. And then one of the things they've got is Reinforced Clay, which all of the Clay Souls get, which lets you effectively improve their defense by 1. Why do you like this, Harvey?
Yeah, as I said to Dave before this video, I really like all the clay soul units because you don't have to take reinforced clay.
Yeah, exactly.
They're kind of like built like a more standard version of the unit, right? They're all very vanilla units, but they have -1 defense on everything, and you have to pay to get the defense back, and that's ideal because nobody fucking wants defense in this unit. Give me a 5/6. So clay soul levy is very, very similar to little ones. There's 10 of them. They are 5/6s. They have counter built in, but it's real counter, not counter attack. And instead of having 6s, 1s are double damage, they have exploding 6s kind of. You'll notice that they're a lot more expensive than little ones. I think I quoted 60 points for little ones. These guys are 60. 85 points. So just all you're getting for that is Royal Warrior, which I think is about equivalent to Shred in this circumstance. And you're getting that impact doesn't matter thing, which could be really, really impactful for a huge 20 stack. But I also think 20 stacks are kind of resilient to impact hits anyway, because the cavalry comes in, does the best it can, and probably doesn't actually kill a 20 stack, and the 20 stack probably takes a couple of models off it, which is a good trade. So interesting unit for sure, and very annoying to deal with if your opponent hasn't brought any dedicated blender units. But yeah, above that 150 point mark.
Yeah. Next one I really want to look at is the Claysol Ogres. Just excellent tough 3 units. Royal Warrior here with A4 AP1. Not much to talk about, but 125 points. That is a good unit.
That's an ogre with 1 less defense. Very similar to the Claysol levies that are little ones with counter instead. Yeah, decent unit. Don't take the +1 defense upgrade on it. Probably just double it up, and love the life of having a bunch of extra AP4 hits.
There's your blender, A1. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fab. And then the things that I'm going to dwell on now is what I think brings Dragon Empire into where we will rank it in our tier list, which is it's got 2 pretty good ranged units. Yep. We've got the Dragonkin Marksman that start out A1 rending, but they can upgrade to 18-inch A2 rending, which combined with Royal Warrior, 5 of these at 150 points is going to do damage over the course of a game, right? Like 18 inches is very good for controlling space, and you can give your ranged unit a musician, and that is excellent. Really, really excellent. And then if you like doing it at Qual 4, have your Elite Dragonkin Marksman who do it at at Qual 3.
Yep.
They don't get access to musician, which is a shame, but at Qual 3 you can suck it up and enjoy it.
Yeah, I think the thing to note here about this is rending is a good rule. and the chance to get rending again is also good, which is what Royal Warrior does, right? When compared to Furious. So when you're using this for shooting things with actual defense, the 6s explode and then you re-roll it, and if you get another 6, you get another rending hit, which is really impactful. It's not huge in the terms of a game. You might get 1 or 2 a game, but you never know how much of an impact that's going to have. Depends what you're shooting, obviously. But yeah, I think, A2, 18 inches is always a good stat line to see, with a rule on top of it. Brilliant. The other thing these guys get as well, which I quite like, is the shotgunners. It's a weird unit because it's got relentless, and there's 5 models of them. I think they're Clay Soul gunners.
Clay Souls gunners, you are right.
So these guys are once again you can ignore the armor upgrade, and you give them shotguns, and they have quality 5, but they've got relentless and they've got Royal Warrior. So when you roll a 6 with these guys, they do an extra hit, and then you also roll an extra hit. To see if you get an extra hit off that. And if you get a 6 on that, then you get relentless again. So you get another extra hit. Ooh, how exciting is that? So you can actually get 4 hits with 1
4
shot
hits
hit
per attack.
You just need to roll 2 6s. So nice high roll, fun unit to run with. And shotguns in AOF, which, who could want more?
Who could want more?
The dragon.
Oh, you want the dragon as well?
I do want the dragon. He's got precision fighter buff. That's it, really. Good unit. Precision fighter, good ability. Dragon attack, good ability.
Rep attack, 10 attacks, 6 of them are AP2. Precision fighter buff lets you hit more reliably.
Don't waste your points on resistance. Insane thing to include alongside precision fighter buff.
So take your precision fighter buff, stack it with your Royal Warrior, and have fun with your dragon.
Exactly. Good stuff.
Very short review there. That is us picking on the highlight points. If the spell list was better, I'd be way more enthusiastic about them. But the spell list is not better for all of the tricks going on inside. If it had just 6 hits AP1 special rule on a level 3 spell, I'd be talking to you about the casting because of things that are in the tough 6s, but they're not. So I'm not. Where does it end up? In the 0%. I think that Dragon Empire is going to be a very good army that is going to be reliably fair in OPR. It's not so bad that I think it's in the -5%, although I'm wondering about this -5% on High Elves. I kind of want them to come up to 0% if Dragon Empire is there. I think the Dragon Empire is very close to Eternal.
I'd rather see Dragon Empire go down than see High Elves come up. I honestly think High Elves are so left in the dirt, right? Like, just not enough A2. Right, once you're taking your Lion Warriors, you're like, well, okay, that's my only good unit. But yeah, I think I agree with 0% for Dragon Empires. That if you look at the Dragon Empires roster, it's a bit like the Human Empires roster, except you have Royal Warrior instead of +1 morale, right? Like they've got some slightly more elite shooting at the bottom, but Human Empires has got other things like precision shooter buff and stuff, and it's like it all ends up kind of coming out in the wash, right? Like it's all just the kind of same group of very similar-ish units that have been copy and pasted from rosters across the game, which is a bit of an OPR thing anyway. But if you came away from this list, you'd be like, what unit really excited you? And I don't think there is one, right? Like you go to Eternal Dynasties, you go like fucking ninjas. What the fucking ninjas with fucking guns and they can teleport and shit? That's rad. But this doesn't have that anywhere, right? This is like, it's got ogres and it's got human empires and it's got ratmen and it's all been pushed together, and then that's the army you've got. And I think the army one as well is one of those things that it's so easy just to be like, it's okay, right? We're talking low quality units for the most part. A reroll is often going to miss. It's all, like I say, it's okay. I think
it's okay.
I think you do fine with it, but you don't have any tricks. You're not going to make your opponent make mistakes. It's extremely fair. It doesn't get like flat, easy, consistent output like Duchies does, right? Duchies gets +1 hit or +1 AP, which is way better than Royal Warrior. And Duchies do the shooting thing as well, and I think they do it slightly better. So yeah, I mean, I'd see them in -5%.
Yeah, I think
only because they're just uninspiring, but yeah.
Where they even fucking gone? There we go. I'll bring them down. I think that is roughly where they sit at that thing. They could have been way more exciting and explosive coming out as a brand new army for OPR.
Yeah.
There's no criticism on having core, reliable armies in OPR, and I think that's what the Dragon Empire are. But in terms of something new and exciting, I think it's missed the mark a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think they're as exciting as they could be.
No, I think the problem... I think the problem with the most recent patch for OPR is some armies got some really interesting stuff, like Protection Feat, which is unique to Saurians, is very, very powerful. Hazardous is very, very good. Reinforcement is very, very good. There's a sprinkling of new rules that have gone to specific factions, and they are good. And then there is factions that didn't really get anything, and they've just kind of been left behind. Which is a real shame, I think, because I think there's, I know. One thing I will say is I am looking forward to the power level of the game coming down a bit. Like looking at this list, like we put mobility so high up on this list, basically everything is like, blow up your opponent before they blow you up, or have some way of stopping that from happening is basically what the tier list came down to. So it would be nice to see some of the aggression come down. I think in the end, though, like the distribution, I think is fine. I think there's a couple of ones like you say, you'd probably move High Elves up. I'm sure I'd move a couple of them around as well. But I think overall this represents us pretty closely.
I think it is pretty damn on the money. And I think it really is a point of saying, if you move things, I think it is really percentage points.
Yeah.
Because I think the one thing I will eat my words on is I don't know how often Sky City Dwarves does beat Demons of Change. But it's not impossible. And
I think it's pretty impossible.
The rest of it, though, is very damn close. I think that OPR Age of Fantasy is way closer than Grimdark Future in terms of the actual comparison of the armies. A lot of that comes down to reduced AP and reduced shooting. And just it being melee driven, and because of that, movement driven. And that's where we get the differences that we do here.
Yeah, I think for the most part in AOF, I think a good AOF list can do really well against lots and lots of things. I think in GDF you have more of a tendency towards like really polarized matchups. So you'll play your list and you'll play it against like 3 or 4 different factions, and one of them might absolutely destroy you, and you might absolutely destroy a different one, which can make it feel a bit more RPS, rock, paper, scissors. Whereas I think in fantasy, there's some core principles that make a list good, and most lists have some sort of access to it. Like morale mitigation is good, mobility is good, right? And as long as you have some sort of that in your list, then you're doing mostly fine. There's just a couple of edge cases of things that were obviously like, they're like the paragon of each one, right? They have something so good that nothing else can really keep up with them.
Excellent. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. I think that does round out our discussion on the tier lists. Of course, do join us in the comments down below. Come onto our Discord server. It's completely free. Have a nice chat with our wonderful people there. If you've come this far, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help us out quite a lot. But in the meantime, I'm Dave. He's Harvey. This is Don't Think, Just Charge. And thank you for watching.
God, it must be nice to be able to see colour. Oh, what a treat. Look at you. Just matching those colours 1-to-1. No problem. What an efficient machine your brain is.
I think I got it wrong.